police union is backing President Trump's plan to crack down on crime in the city. It involves federalizing the police force for a time and deploying National Guard troops to the streets. D.C. city officials and Democrats in Congress object. Yet another instance of the victims being in the wrong place, the wrong time.
A suspect is in custody after a shooting outside a Target store in Austin, Texas.
We have 3 people that are deceased.
Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis says the suspect was apprehended after fleeing the scene in a stolen car.
Wrecked that car, then hijacked another car. He was then found by Austin PD in South Austin, where he was taken into custody after a tasing.
Of the suspect, Davis says,
we have a male white suspect who appears to be 32 years of age, does have a mental health history.
That's on courtesy KVUE. The shooting came amid back-to-school shopping. I'm Ben Thomas.
Investigators beginning the task of trying to identify the cause of a deadly explosion at a U.S. steel plant just south of Pittsburgh. 2 people were killed. On Wall Street, the Dow futures up 256 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 153. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you're living with pain, see how Relief Factor can help.
I'm an artist, and I'm in my studio. I listen to the radio all day, and I'm hearing the ads about Relief Factor. And I've got pain in my neck, and it's getting worse. And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to go ahead and order this. 2 weeks later, I've got much better range of motion. If you're experiencing pain at a certain point in life, I would get Relief Factor.
Fight pain naturally with Relief Factor. Go to ReliefFactor.com and get your 3-week quick start today. Only $19.95.
Hi, this is Rhett Rasmussen of BestHotGrill.com. We make the amazing Solaire infrared gas grills that are built to last and will consistently deliver better than restaurant grilled food. The Solaire infrared burner heats up to 1,000 degrees in just 3 minutes, even in the dead of winter. The high heat locks in the juices and flavor and grills food faster. Learn more about these fantastic USA-made grills at BestHotGrill.com. Solaire, hot, fast grills at BestHotGrill.com.
A Chilean court is ordering a young American pilot to leave the country and to stay away for at least 3 years. He illegally landed his plane on an Antarctic island that's claimed by the country.
Ethan Guo was taken into custody on King George Island in late June. He'd been trying to become the youngest person to fly solo to every continent, raising money for cancer research. Chilean authorities had charged Mr. Guo with handling false information to ground control and landing without authorization. On Monday, a judge said those charges would be dropped, but the 19-year-old would have to donate $30,000 to a Chilean cancer foundation and not return to the country for 3 years.
That's the BBC's Olivia Noon. Local rights groups say Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces have attacked a displacement camp outside El Fasher, killing at least 40 people. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. Ford will invest nearly $2 billion to retool a Kentucky plant to produce electric vehicles.
The automaker says the goal is to produce EVs that are more affordable, profitable to make, and outcompete rival models. Ford CEO Jim Farley unveiled the new EV strategy at the company's Louisville assembly plant. The factory will be revamped to manufacture electric vehicles after producing gas-powered vehicles for decades. Ford says the first EV vehicle to roll off the assembly line will be a mid-size 4-door electric truck that's set to debut in 2027. John Scott reporting.
AOL's dial-up internet taking its final bow. The former America Online says it's officially pulling the plug for its service on September 30th. AOL says it does routinely evaluate its offerings and decided it's time to discontinue dial-up service. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The demolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday.
Yes, indeed. The second day of the rest of your life.
And safe travels to my wife, Kim, as
yes.
she goes off to Albuquerque.
To parts unknown. Well,
Yeah.
no, they're known parts.
Yeah, they're known parts. It's let amphitheater.
Uh-huh.
It's on a map and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to go see Extreme.
Nice.
Poison. Endeavor.
You're jealous as hell. I can feel it.
I am. I'm full of jealousy.
Mm-hmm. If you've ever been in the middle of a concert crowd,
Mm-hmm.
like the concert's fine. It's the waiting. It's
Yes.
the getting there. First of all, you have to get to your seat early, or else it's going to be a madhouse of trying to get through people.
Right.
So you get to your seat, you get your snacks or whatever at hand, and then you just sit there and wait for like an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
For anything, any semblance of like a stage hand will walk on stage and everybody's like, yeah. Oh wait, he's nobody. And that's got to be horrible if you're a stagehand.
You're right.
You're like, hey,
Well, Mr. Roadie.
Just brush this off.
I'll never forget. It was in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
I went to, back then it was the Journal Pavilion.
Yep.
To see Van Halen. It was a great concert.
Nice.
However, get there like 2 hours early and all that.
Mhm.
And I get there and I get my seat, and I have a decent seat. And I think it was a radio station giveaway seat. I
Right.
don't remember. So my wife and I went. But as soon as I sat down, I'm sitting there diddy bopping, eating my food, and just kind of, taking in the scenery. The people with the seats in front of me sit down.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, I had the man with the possibly Guinness record head size sit in front of me.
Now that's not necessarily a bad thing because the Journal seats are very, they're very tilted down. But
I distinctly remember sitting there and then taking a picture. My view for the concert, and it's literally just this guy's head.
Go home and cry into your huge pillow.
Freaking Sputnik.
Oh, that's great.
It was a big hit. And so I remember that was one of those, I'm going to be sitting for 2 hours looking at the back of this man's head.
I'm sitting here enjoying Van Head. Eddie Van Head's rocking out. But I remember one of my most vivid but also least favorite memories was I attended I'm pretty sure it was a Def Leppard concert. Again, I think we got tickets from the radio station.
Yeah.
And one of our listeners offered to give us a ride. If I remember correctly, it was there and back.
Okay.
Or no, it was just back. We were able to get there. We weren't able to get back. So one of our listeners said, "Well, we'll take you back." And he also took us back to my sister's house, which, if you know Albuquerque, the Isleta Amphitheater is about as far from the west side of Albuquerque as you can get.
It is.
Now, this dude, in the process of the concert, had himself like 7, maybe 8 rum and cokes.
Oh boy.
At like $30 a pop. And then I think it was Jaeger bombs after that. I think he did like Jaeger bomb. And this dude had to get us home or back to my sister's house on I-40. I was white knuckled to the OS handle as hard as I could be.
Sure don't mean to drive. I can drive.
At one point we were like veering into the sleep lane.
Yeah.
And there was like a guardrail right here, and I kept looking back at Carletta like, I think we're gonna die tonight. But
enjoy now, 'cause this is the last moments of breath we get.
But man, he was toe up.
Apparently. He's drinking that many rum and coats and Jaeger bombs.
I got out of his car and I kissed the ground.
Right.
I was just like, oh, thank God. Like Katy Perry after space.
I'm going to Uber to Roswell. I'll be good.
And worse than that was he actually was the one he got us back to Roswell. And I think because I'm a DJ, he thought I was going to be a fantastic conversation. Here's the thing. I need somebody to converse with.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just sit there and have me tell you a story.
Right.
You know, I got to have some interaction. There was I don't think he had a radio. I don't remember what it was, but it was the most awkward 3 hours of my entire life. Nobody said. We had like 20 minutes of conversation in us. We get just outside of Albuquerque and we had nothing left to talk about. It was very uncomfortable.
Chili burger, huh?
It was. I mean, at one point, I think we started talking about the weather. There was just nothing. I felt horrible. I'm like, I know you want me to entertain you, but I can't.
Should have just told him what he did last night, because I don't know if he'd remember it after drinking all the Jaeger bombs and the rum and cokes.
And these things are like $30 a pop.
Yeah, that's baller money right there.
Right.
Yeah, I can't afford to get drunk at a place like that.
Or it's like when I went to that TNA event, they had $16 beers.
Oof.
So I thought, well, I don't want to stand in a line again. I'll get two. But they crack them open for you right there in front of you. So now I'm standing there with two open drinks like some big idiot.
Had two hands, two open beers, and $32 in my pocket.
In their pocket.
Yeah, right. Oh, man.
But enjoy the concert. I'm sure it's going to be a blast.
Oh, yeah, she'll have fun, and she's going to go with her niece.
Oh, nice.
It'll
hit the merch booth.
Yeah, niece-aunt kind of bonding thing. They're going to have fun. So, yeah, I was asking if she's going to get a shirt. She goes, I don't know. I was like, well, yeah, like, mark the occasion. So, we'll see. Sounds like you're beckoned.
Yeah.
We need to get the hour going anyway.
I'm beckoned. Apparently, what I'm doing right now is important enough.
Hey, let me give you the rundown for today's show. We're going to replay our interview this hour we had yesterday with Mike Taylor, candidate for Chavez County Sheriff. Had a great conversation with him. We're going to play that for you here in mere moments. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, Dr. Sean Powell from Eastern New Mexico University Roswell will pop in for his monthly visit, give us an update as, of course, back to the campus, the fall semester going on. Of course, mill levy, I'm sure he's going to talk a little bit about that, too. So we'll talk all about that with Dr. Powell in the 8 o'clock hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to replay our interview we had with Matt Bristol from Bristol Law. He joined us yesterday, and as he does each month, gives us good information, good advice when it comes to legal stuff like family planning, wills, businesses, financial stuff, all that. So we'll play that conversation with you here at about 9:15. Plus, we'll have all the newses of the local, national, variety, Wall Street business updates, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. But first, your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a little bit of moist air coming in as part of the monsoon today, so we can't rule out an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Some sun, though, and our high today in the low to mid-80s. Overnight, a few showers till about midnight, then clearing up a little bit. We'll be in the upper 60s, and then sunshine on Wednesday. A very slight chance of a thunderstorm, and we're in the mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Apparently the computers or the gauges or whatever, they're doing their thing at the airport this morning, because I'm getting NA for temps and humidity right now. But winds are currently out of the southeast at 7 miles per hour. Mostly sunny today, a high of 92 expected. North winds at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight we are looking at a 20% chance at some showers, mainly before midnight. Got a good one around 8:30 last night. Got a good little rainstorm. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 67. East winds at around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, mostly sunny, 96 for a high. Winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Thursday, mostly sunny and a high of 99. Friday, we're looking at a 20% chance at afternoon showers, partly cloudy and 98. Saturday, a 30% chance of rain, partly cloudy and 94. Sunday, a 30% chance of rain, mostly sunny and 95. So, yeah, we're looking at decent rain chances, 20-30% from like Friday on through at least Monday of next week. So we'll see. Monsoon 2, Electric Boogaloo. All right, 7:16. We're going to take a 3.5-minute break, and then we're going to play our interview with Mike Taylor. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning. This is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 830 head of cattle sold on the steady to higher market with excellent buyer attendance. Compared to last week, the weaned stocker calves sold $25 to $50 higher. Unweaned cattle sold steady. Feeder cattle steady to $15 higher. Packer cows and bulls, cows steady. Packer bulls $10 higher. 3 to 400 pound steers $5.605. 3 to 400 pound heifers $4.52. $5.25. 4 to 500 pound steers $4.58. $5. 4 to 500 pound heifers $3.92 to $4.52. 5 to 600 pound steers $4, $4.58. 5 to 600 pound heifers $3.82 to $3.92. 6 to 700 pound steers $3.52 to $4. 6 to 700 pound heifers $3.67, $3.82. 7 to 800 pound steers $3.15, $3.52. 7 to 800 pound heifers $2.67 to $3.67. Packer cows $1.70, $1.80. Canner and cutter cows $1.60, $1.68. Packer bulls $2, $2.15. Feeder bulls $1.85, $1.92. Top half the cow calf pairs $3,300 to $3,700 per pair. Top half the bred cows $3,000 to $3,450 per head. Now remember, this is the top of the market, and prices range down from this according to quality, quantity, condition, and feel. We do appreciate the business, and we'll talk to you next Monday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock.
So I make a silly joke about it never raining, and now it seems like it'll never quit. Hi, this is Ben Manette from Roswell Seed Company. All this rain is great, but soon the weeds will be waist high and the bugs will be as thick as flies. But here at Roswell Seed, we have just what you need to control the weeds and fend off the bugs before they take over. So come see us at Roswell Seed, and be careful what you joke about. Mother Nature sure has a wicked sense of humor.
Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team provides physical, occupational, and speech therapy to help you regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736-8174 today to schedule an appointment and get back to living life to the fullest.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true.
Downtown Artesia is the place to be September 11th through the 13th for 3 nights of music, culture, and community. Thursday kicks off with New Mexico Heritage Night, mariachi, tejano, and local flavor. Friday's all about indie folk vibes. And Saturday, Red Dirt, Black Gold with headliner Cody Canada and The Departed. Gates open at 5, music starts at 6. Plus, interactive vendors, shopping, food, and cold drinks all weekend long. Bring your boots, bring your friends, and experience Artesia like never before. Full schedule at reddirtblackgold.com. A heartfelt thank you to the City of Artesia for making this event possible. Paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
Yes, in studio this morning, candidate for Chavez County Sheriff Mike Taylor back with us. Good morning, sir.
Morning. How are you?
Doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
How's the campaign going far? Because you've officially announced a
couple of months ago.
Yeah, say about 3-4 months ago here.
Yeah.
How's because I imagine life changes a little bit when you decide you announce to, because obviously with your long career at the RPD, continuing at the RPD, people know you a certain way, and now they're saying, oh, okay, I ain't running for sheriff, and I'm sure they got a lot of questions for you.
Oh, sure. No, it's been busy. It's been it's a new chapter.
Sure.
Still trying to take on the role, or taking on the role at the police department,
Sure,
full time, and then trying to maintain a campaign on the side of it.
Two full-time jobs, basically.
Well, and then of course, you always have honeydews
Absolutely.
at home, so it's a three full-time job situation.
Yeah, husband and father is a big one.
Yeah,
is the big
grandfather, my grandkids, and always trying to keep them entertained and doing things. And so, yeah, it's a full-time situation in all directions. But
so, because you're in law enforcement, do your grandkids listen to you more, or are they kind of
no?
Does that intimidate them at all?
No. These grandkids, they know that they have me pretty much wrapped, and so there's no secret on that. They know that they have me wrapped, so they're like, yeah, you're not gonna use any ninja techniques on me. That's not going to work.
I know your mind games.
Yes, I know your mind games. That's right.
But for folks that I may not be familiar with them, a little bit of background.
Sure.
Of course, you've been with the Roswell Police Department for what,
25 years.
25 years
yes,
now. Currently serving as a deputy chief.
That's correct.
So now you're saying, you know what? My experience in law enforcement, I'm ready to make the leap here and for sheriff and run the sheriff's department.
Right. Well, I had a lot of people, reach out to me early on earlier in the year. A lot of people started reaching out to me from all different areas, all areas. I had businesses, organizations, just different people reach out to me and ask me if this was a direction that I had thought about,
gotcha.
and I had thought about it.
Sure.
But I needed to get to a place in my own mind and in my own heart that I felt that this was where I needed to go.
The right move for you.
Correct. Where I needed to go. And so I had several people that had put out their mindset that they may run, and they were reaching out to me, asking me, hey, are you not? If you are, we're not.
Gotcha.
And so when I came to the conclusion, the mindset within myself, my family, I have to have the right backing.
Absolutely.
And when I came to the solid conclusion that, yep, this is the direction I need to head to. This is the next chapter. Then anybody that the people that had been asking me, they just rallied behind me 100%. It's been hugely overwhelming.
Nice.
I mean, it's been very humbling.
You kind of learn something, don't you, when you do
do
things like that? How what people think, or especially you've been in a community as long as you have.
Sure.
Yeah.
And in the area that I'm in, I mean, with 25 years with the Roswell Police Department, I've pretty much held most all ranks.
You kind of done everything from the lowest of lows to the highest parts of the job. Yeah.
And a lot of my time, a huge amount of my time, I was in the narcotics division.
Okay.
And so I was kind of in the shadows.
You see things a lot of people don't normally see about your town in that division.
Right.
Yeah.
And pretty much in the shadows. So as far as my face being out in the public eye, I haven't been in the public eye's face so much.
Sure.
I've been a instrumental part of the police department
behind the scenes
for 25 years.
Sure.
But in different,
kind of like the offensive linemen in football, where they do their job, you never hear their name.
Right.
But the moment something goes wrong, everybody talks.
Sure, everybody knows you then. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so right now it's just in various different circles, city council, committees, different events, I'm very well known.
Sure.
But those
that aren't doing the day-to-day don't necessarily see what you do. Yeah,
correct.
That makes sense.
So, I've been out and about, out in a lot of different events. These last couple of weeks have been really busy.
Sure.
We had
just meeting and greeting people.
Yeah.
Telling people
had
about
a lot of different, the New Mexico health event that was at the mall Saturday before last. Had a great turnout there. We had a booth there set up under the New Mexico DWI commission, and so we had a lot of exposure there.
Sure.
I was there during that entire thing. The National Night Out.
It's kind of a busy time of year with back to school and National Night. The planets kind of align. All these events just happen this time of year.
Right. Yeah. And
fairs around the corner, and that'll be another busy time.
Then we just had a big fishing event in Dexter. The fishing with the cop.
Oh yeah, they did that just this past Saturday.
This last Saturday. Yeah. And to clear some of that up, there was it's come to my attention. It's been put out that some things I think need to be cleared up. As far as the national event, the National Night Out event, that's pretty much put on by the Roswell Police Department, the Roswell Fire Department, and the city of Roswell.
Yeah.
They're the ones that organize that.
Those are generally a city thing.
They have done that for years. And, and then like this fishing event that came up in Dexter
that was a county thing.
Well, no, that actually wasn't.
That was more city too?
No.
Oh, okay.
So that was a private organization.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So the Desert Dogs.
A third party.
The Desert Dogs Outdoors.
Okay.
Tony Torres. He is the founder of that organization out of Las Cruces. And so they started doing some events in Las Cruces.
Okay.
And they were asked to, hey, would you expand down into Chaves County?
Okay.
They did their first one last year.
Okay.
And they pretty much single-handedly set this entire thing up.
Gotcha.
Out of Las Cruces. Now they reach out to local departments and businesses and,
it's a
and
great
such
idea.
As that. Yeah. And they pull us all together. But these guys, man, they set up such an awesome event.
Sure. Well, and the whole point of both of these events really is that connection between the public and law enforcement.
And that is, in all reality, that is one of the highest points of why I ran for sheriff.
Gotcha.
And why I'm running is to reunite this county.
Sure.
There has been, over the last 7 years of the current administration, so much separation between all the departments within the county.
A disconnect.
A complete disconnect.
Yeah.
Unsure. That's something they have to answer to as to why.
Sure.
But a complete disconnect. And that is one of my main priorities is reuniting this county.
Sure.
Reuniting instantly. I mean, day one, I've got a great rapport with all of our law enforcement agencies within Chaves County.
Gotcha.
With the federal agencies. And day one, it's going to be everybody works together.
Gotcha. Doesn't matter if you're state, county,
it does not
whatever.
Matter. We're all in the same fight.
Doing the same job.
Yeah, we're all in the same fight. And in a rural area such as we're in, why wouldn't you? Why
Absolutely.
wouldn't you lean on each other? Why wouldn't you band together? Because, in this very rural area, we see a lot of the same offenders. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Crime is not is not just separated by city or county lines or anything else.
Right.
You have across Eddy County sees a lot of the same guys that we have over here. We see a lot of Eddy counties, Lee County.
Absolutely.
It's crossed over, and then our communities, our local communities, Dexter, Hagerman, Lake Arthur. A lot of these people live in those communities, but they do crimes everywhere else.
Absolutely.
And it's different areas, and it's
What's
just
where opportunity is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just bringing that together.
Sure.
It's you can only do so much single-handedly, but when you band together and work together, then it's wide open.
Absolutely. Well,
there's an endless amount of what you can accomplish.
Absolutely. And this is kind of like getting kind of back to why they have these events and things,
Yes.
and even like why we preach like neighborhood watches and things
Sure.
like that. It's to have a good neighborhood, to have great streets, to have a community that you feel safe and want to raise your family. And it really takes all of us to observe, report, because the people that know your community best are the people that live in it. And that's
sure.
why that relationship between the law enforcement, that's why patrol officers are working beats and work
Correct.
the same neighborhoods. And so they
Correct.
get to know the people in the community and know the things that are normal every day and the things that aren't normal every day.
Right.
And that's so important to keep the peace, to keep
Sure.
keep everything going. And so for we, the community, our responsibility is to have that relationship with
It is.
police
It
and,
is.
and to talk about that.
It is, and it's harped on consistently. Departments all over the country being shorthanded, And Roswell,
and let's face it,
even Chaves County,
career-wise, it's not popular to be a cop right now.
No,
you know what I mean? It's the like I think we're the exception, not the rule. I think this area really loves our law enforcement. I don't see the things that we see.
We have an outstanding base of community backing in the county, in the city. We have an amazing backing that's not seen everywhere.
Absolutely.
Other parts of the country, you see total opposite.
Yeah.
But we're very fortunate in this part of the country that, for the most part, we have people that back the law enforcement in this area.
They understand that thin blue line.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, the county and the city and everything else, it's just like everywhere else. You have a small percentage, you know. We always kind of claim, you know, you have 90% are the good and the 10% are the bad. And it's that 10% that are always causing nonstop work for law enforcement.
And
you know,
that is true.
And then we have, you know, a lot of the state laws and everything else that over the years have bound our hands to a degree that makes our job a little bit harder.
Sure.
And so you get consistent, you know, back and forth with the same ones, the same group, and and like I said, they just bounce all over the place, you know. But with the shorthandedness, you know, it's not as easy and as readily available as we would like a lot of times for our officers that are out on patrol.
Sure.
To be as involved and as integrated into those certain neighborhoods because they're just bouncing from call to call to call.
Sure.
I mean, these guys are nonstop. They're working 10-hour shifts, and it is nonstop call to call to call. And when they do have the time, they take advantage of that to try and build the relationships and build the gaps and do the community policing and I
don't think people realize too is like every time a law enforcement officer shows up on a call, and it doesn't matter how minor or major that call is,
right?
There is probably an hour of paperwork associated with every one of those, like every speeding ticket, every little. You don't realize they've got to annotate, document, and do pretty much every little burp that they've done that entire shift.
Right. No, it's all documentation. You know, you've got to document every ounce of everything. You know, and you know, like you said, you know, it's always good to be able to have that time frame to where you do have some downtime to be proactive instead of reactive all the time.
Absolutely.
And get out into the neighborhoods and even like these events, it's an awesome deal for a lot of these officers.
Sure.
I
That's probably the fun part.
It is. And in all of these events, you know, I reach out, I put it out to the entire department. Hey, we want as much involvement as we can.
Sure.
If you've got the time, if it's your day off, then come. We'll take care of you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we just want to give you a little bit of a feel of the community coming out and being able to speak openly.
Sure.
And being able to engage with each
Talk
other.
with people like
and
people.
Because when these guys get called, they're not going to grandma's house because she just baked cookies.
Exactly.
At that moment, whatever it is, it can be, you know, some people can look at it and say, well, that was a very minor situation. Well, it is to you.
But
to that person, it was a situation that they needed help at that time.
And to be honest, the officer doesn't know until they know.
Correct.
They've got to treat it like it's DEFCON 1 or whatever it is until they realize it's not.
Yeah, and they get all the information prior to, but just because you get some information doesn't always turn out that way.
Yeah.
I mean, everything can spin in just a second.
Absolutely.
To what you think is a very minor. And that's one of the things that we really train for. And that's one of the things too, you know, as far as looking at the sheriff's bid is, you know, training. I'm a huge proponent of training.
Sure.
And get these guys, you know, up to date training, get them up to date, get them the tools that they need to do their job that is now fulfilling every aspect that they possibly can for the citizens of the county.
I would imagine, just like you personally, I mean, yes, the job's the job.
Right.
But what they taught you 25 years ago versus what they're teaching the same new person today is probably a lot different.
It is.
I mean, yeah, there's going to be a few things that are same.
Sure,
I mean,
your foundation
Yeah.
of law enforcement, even through training at the academy,
Sure.
it is kind of remains the same over years. But you have a lot of differences that still come through as well. You have a lot of different law
Sure.
changes.
Well, technology's even
you have
changed how you-
technology
that's changed
changes,
your
right?
police
You
work,
got
yeah.
equipment changes,
Yeah.
and so you have to be able to go with the times. And at the police department, we send the guys to the academy. We run them through rigorous training. A lot of times we try and set that up prior to
Sure.
the academy.
Generally
but
speaking,
but
when
it
they-
doesn't always work that way. Sometimes
They're pretty prepared by the time they go to the academy. They know full well what they're about to get into.
They are,
Yeah.
and then they go to the academy, and then they come back, and then that's where we really train them.
Sure.
Because now, okay, you have a foundation.
Sure.
That you learn through to get your state certification. You have the foundation.
Sure.
But we take you, and we're going to show you hands-on, and you're going to have a true reality.
Sure.
Of what life is as a law enforcement officer in Roswell and in this surrounding area.
And I think any officer that's been an officer for any amount of time, you literally develop what I like to call spidey sense.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? And
Sure.
and yes, they can teach you the techniques in the academy on how to acquire it, but day one with your ride along and all that, that's when you hone that skill and put it into real practice. And after enough time, that's when you can tell when your spidey senses are on point versus working overtime or not doing what they're supposed to be doing. You know what I mean?
And that's and when you bring various departments, because here we are in Roswell, we've got Chaves County Sheriff's Office that's in the same community. They're housed in Roswell area. And a lot of these guys work together.
Yeah.
I mean, they're working together all the time. As far as the ground pounders, the patrol guys, they're working together. That's another aspect. Is I really am aiming for these guys to be able to work together far more, train together, get a lot of the same training, and be able to understand just on sight.
Absolutely.
The second you see each other, it doesn't matter what department it is. You come together and you don't have to always speak what's going on. You can look at each other and exactly, hey, something's got this guy
It's like
queued
those
up.
championship football teams, you just know where the guy, like the quarterback just knows that's where the guy's at,
So it's just unity, just bringing this whole community,
Absolutely,
the Chaves
too.
County as a whole,
and
just
that's
bringing it together.
And that's one of the unique things about law enforcement, there's individuals that, they're primarily SWAT guys or these are investigators. But at the end of the day, every one of them's a cop.
Yes.
Every one of them has the exact same duties and responsibilities, whether their job is behind a desk or, on the CSI team or whatever it is.
Right.
Their job is to serve and protect. And if there is a crime happening or something going down, they're not going to say, "Oh, well, I'm an office clerk. I'm not going to do anything about that." No, they're alone. So that, because of that thing, you got, regardless of what you do in law enforcement, you're a cop first.
Sure.
And if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. And everybody has their role. And we've got at the Roswell Police Department, we've got over the past several years, we have hired in civilian positions. So we brought in a lot of the civilian positions to relieve the officers back into areas that we need.
Gotcha.
The certified, farther more training.
Sure. Some of the mundane stuff that really is just eating up an officer's time. We can let someone who has lesser qualifications do that, while our more qualified people are doing where they need to be.
And even the civilians that we bring in, we train them. We ensure that they're trained properly. We give them all the tools in their bag that they need.
And plus, it's an aspiration for next. You get kids right out of school or whatever. Maybe they're not old enough. That's why we talk about service aids and something. Maybe they hope to pursue a career in law enforcement. All right, let's get your feet wet doing some of this.
And it gives them the opportunity to see.
Yeah.
They go in, they look at it, and they get hands-on information, and then they look at it and say, I can now make a solid decision. This is the direction I want to go.
Plus, they're probably better educated that when they do come back from the academy, they're much more familiar with the neighborhood. They already know the people. You know what I mean? That part that, once you're in the academy, if you're new to the area, you have to learn. These folks already have that.
Well, it just makes them far more well-rounded. They're well-rounded with experience, with training, with knowledge of what they're expected to do, with what's going to happen. It's just a win-win, and the whole department, any department you go into, the foundation is the same. Law enforcement foundation is the same.
Yeah.
I don't care what department it goes to. The foundation is the same. The laws are the same. The state laws and everything. You might have a little tweak on your policies. You may have a little addition here or addition there of certain things that you do in your jurisdiction.
Sure.
The sheriff's department, they have a little bit different role on some aspects with the courts.
Sure. Their duties might be a little
subpoena,
bit.
Right. But the foundation is the same. It's law enforcement, and it's working to ensure the laws are being upheld. And that's the foundation. It doesn't matter where you come from.
I imagine it doesn't matter if you're sitting in the sheriff's department, the RPD, the state police, wherever.
Right.
When it's time for that shift change meeting, every one of those meetings probably look and sound exactly the same.
Sure.
You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah.
The format, the way they're done.
Yes.
I mean, the jokes may be different, but it's, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's you walk. It's kind of like walking into McDonald's. You walk into McDonald's, you always know what to expect.
Right.
It's probably the same thing in every police department, regardless if it's state, county, feds. It doesn't matter.
Sure, it's all the same. It's just because you cross out of Roswell city limits, and you go into the county. There's not a whole new statute book.
Sure.
It's not a county
Matter of fact,
statute book.
some of the people are going to be right because that does happen.
Yeah,
they
just
work there here and they work here now, and that does happen.
Crossover, and you have a lot of crossover by even employees.
Sure.
We've lost a few of our employees to Eddy County.
Sure.
And there's no blame. There's no resentment. There's no anything. Hey, you've got to do what's best for you and your family.
Sure.
Well,
there's always that grass is greener thing, and sometimes people learn it's not always greener.
It's not always greener on the other side of the fence, but
there's other and that's life. Everyone's learning that lesson. And it's like, okay, for a few dollars more, okay, but was the quality of life better? And that's just
it's not any different. I mean,
as we become adults,
corporate America. Corporate America is the exact same way. The restaurants in Roswell.
Yeah.
You go one day and you go to eat at this one, and then 2 weeks later you go over here, and the same waitresses now at that way. It's life.
And I imagine
people move around, and they try and do it for the betterment of their life and the betterment of their family.
Yeah.
And that's just life.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what it is.
And I imagine, it's like you said, numbers get down universally, and I'm sure at Eddy County, you're like, man, we're way down. We're going to have to up the pay. And of course, people over here saying, man, you see what they're hiring for my job over here? Maybe. And then they go, and you always get some. And then, but how many times, sometimes they went, and 5 years later, guess what? They're back
Sometimes
over
not
here.
even 5 years.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 5 months.
It does happen.
We've had them, leave for various reasons. And
but it's the same in all careers.
Yeah.
Teachers
sure
are the
it
same
is.
way. My wife's a teacher. She's been
Sure
a
it
teacher
is.
for 28 years, and same kind of thing,
Yeah.
see that deal. But I'm kind of curious, to talk a little bit about, because obviously, the role of sheriff, it's as unique as everyone, where you could easily pull into somebody over for speeding, but at the same time, next moment you're in Santa Fe in a room here. Talk a little bit about that experience for you, and how you anticipate that as sheriff and dealing with some of that.
Yeah.
stuff.
So, I'll be straight up front. I'm not a politician.
Yeah.
I'm not a politician. I am a police officer. That's my basis.
Sure.
I know that as the sheriff's position is a political position because it's an elected position.
Yes.
And they do a lot of work in Santa Fe through legislative, sessions and different things. In the position that I'm in currently, I don't. I'll be very forthcoming. I'm not hiding anything on that. I don't have the experience on
city runs
that
different than the
side of
sheriff's
it.
department.
Sure, but I do have common sense. I do have knowledge. I do have law enforcement knowledge. I have knowledge of this county.
You've lived on Earth. You know what's going on.
Yes. So 25 years ago, I didn't know how to be a cop.
Right.
But here I am 25 years later,
Sure.
and I'm the deputy chief.
Right.
And I have 25 years of vast experience.
Sure.
Of multitudes of hours
Sure.
of training. And so that's an aspect and an item that I will learn, I will understand,
Sure.
and I will fight 100% for Chaves County.
Absolutely.
You know, I am going to work 100% on the legislative side and work with our representatives in this area.
Sure.
That make the decisions and that bring things to Santa Fe. And I'm going to work very hard for Chaves County, you know, to be looked at for the needs and the things that improve this county, and then the things that are going to be negatively. We've seen some of that over the past years. COVID and different things like that. We've seen a lot of negative issues come out, and I can tell you that I will stand 100% against negative items. You know, if it is going to
Constitutional
or unconstitutional, unlawful, you know, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to fight the fight. I'm not afraid to fight the fight. I'm not going to be pushed around. I'm not going to be bullied. I'm there to stand for what's right and to do what's right. In good times and in bad.
The good, bad, and the ugly.
That's it.
Not every day is going to be a cupcakes,
No,
unfortunately.
no, it doesn't matter where you're at. That's.
And I want to ask, and this is more, I'm just Jewish curious than anything, because I just kind of, you know, as a deputy police chief.
Yes.
Now I have a military background. I was in the Air Force,
Okay.
and so, in the military, you know, chain of command, not necessarily your opinion is something that you know you can always share at a given moment and things, and in law enforcement, like, is it that simple? Like, I know you have a chain of command. You got your sergeants, your lieutenants, but like in the Air Force, like a chief walks in a room, the chief, what he says is God, is law.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
As a deputy chief, I feel like in the police department where the chief and the deputy chiefs, like, you guys walk around and kind of like what you guys say is what's going to happen kind of me. Or now that it's an elected position, yes, don't get me wrong, sheriff rolls in and people are like, all right, the sheriff, they're going to listen.
Sure.
But like, I feel like it's a little less chain of commandy, like, or am I wrong? And I'm just curious about that. Where, I mean, yes, the chain of command's there, but like, there's just certain things you can say maybe to the sheriff that you would not say to a police chief. Does that make sense at all?
No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I think that the the respect for the title and the respect for the position is still the same.
Gotcha.
The sheriff is over that wheelhouse.
Gotcha.
The sheriff is the head law enforcement over that area. Over the sheriff's department, over the county.
Right.
Now, in taking that a step further, in the county, the sheriff and the police chief, within the city limits, the police chief has just as much power.
Gotcha.
It's a concurrent jurisdiction
Sure.
type situation. But in what you're talking about, no, they're still, the sheriff is, by all accounts, the chief.
Gotcha.
Of the sheriff's department. Now, the undersheriff, which, here soon, I plan on coming back in and introducing my undersheriff. Perfect fit. Daniel Ornelas.
Okay.
He's a retired from the sheriff's department. Awesome guy. I have 100% full trust in this guy. He knows the position.
Mm-hmm.
He knows the department, the sheriff's department.
And he can fill in those gaps
He's a veteran
that you need help in.
He does. He knows everything. But as far as the rank in the sheriff's department, the sheriff he's the top dog.
Sure.
In that department. And then your undersheriff is the one that's running the department itself.
Sure.
He's
making the sheriff look
he's
good.
Hustling. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Kind of like the same thing with the deputy chief.
Sure, you got the same role here.
Sure, we
sure.
For the most part, the chief has his own role.
Sure,
he's at a lot of meetings, a lot of events, a lot of public, out in the public,
right,
doing different things. And as deputy chiefs, we're still making sure everything is going. And we have a great setup at the Roswell Police Department because we've got captains, we've got lieutenants, we've got sergeants.
Sure.
They all know their role and they all do the best job they can. And
Sure.
so it runs smoothly.
Sure.
And as far as the sheriff's department, that's what I anticipate is going to happen there.
Gotcha.
You know, it's going to, I get into that position, it's going to run smooth. There's going to be people in the right places. They're going to be accountable for their positions.
Sure.
And it's going to run smooth.
Yeah.
It's going to run great.
This is kind of, it's just one of those, it's the most unique position in really all of elected officials, I think, when it comes to the sheriff's position.
Yeah.
And so, because it's at the end of the day, it's the most political, non-political thing there is, if that makes sense.
That's a pretty good description. Yeah. Political, non-political situation.
So,
yeah.
At the end of
it
the day,
can be very political, but and at different times
Now, this is my own 2 cents. This is what I tell people. It's like positions like this, it's really not a D or an R thing to me. It really is the person. You need to look and you need to see the history. You need to see, and I think more than even other elected, even than your state reps and senators.
Right.
I would argue, because you have a much more day-to-day relationship with the public than those people do.
Right.
I think that's the kind of stuff matters more, and so that's why I'm telling when I tell people when you're looking at this stuff, that's the kind of stuff you need to look at is exactly the thing you're talking about. What's that relationship like? And
correct.
And so
and I think for the general public and for the voters out there, do your research.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the true. Don't look at the just the Facebook politics.
That'll drive you nuts.
Oh yeah,
all that.
Of what the appearance may be.
Not to mention, you'll think everybody's absolutely evil or absolutely good, and there's no
sure.
gray.
Sure,
it's Facebook. Take everything with a grain of salt.
But take it for the person, and do your research.
Mm-hmm.
Do your honest, true research. If you want to look at somebody, then my biggest thing is talk to that person. Reach out and talk to that person.
Mm-hmm.
Do your research. Find the reality behind, what they're about, what they've done. Look at every aspect of that. Don't just take it for word value of what somebody said, or sometimes of just what that person said.
Absolutely.
Back up your own knowledge and back up your own vote, because this is, that is something that is very powerful in this country still, is the power to vote.
Yep.
And a lot of people, Chaves County is pretty well known for kind of having low numbers, and I would just appeal to our citizens, is take that right, your right to be able to vote, to make a difference, and use that.
Absolutely.
But research it, ensure that you know wholeheartedly what that person's about,
Absolutely.
what they've done, their track record, good or bad, and, make a solid choice that you can lay your head down at night and say, I did that based on my own knowledge and I did it for this reason.
Pretty signs and amount of said signs is not a reason to vote for somebody.
Right.
I know that seems to be the way we do local elections. Like, I saw that sign more than any other sign. I'll vote for that guy.
Yeah, and it's a game.
Yeah.
It's a game that we all have to play. You all have to have to play it, to kind of get it out there. And
most people put in the least amount of time making decisions on the people that are going to impact their life on a much bigger basis. Like,
Sure.
let's face it. At the end of the day, what the sheriff position does is going to impact your day-to-day life much more than even the president of the United States.
Sure it is, right, because it's in your world. It's in your little bubble.
Absolutely. So
we're
do
right
your
here.
research.
Yes.
Do your homework.
Just do your homework.
Ask
do your
questions.
research. Ask questions. Yes.
We're about out of time, but speaking of that, if folks want to look you up and ask you or talk to you or read more about what you represent, what's a good way to do that?
So right now I'm working on a web page that'll have an entire bio. It's still in the works, but that'll be coming out soon. They can always go to my Facebook page, Mike Taylor for Chavez County Sheriff.
Perfect.
They can always reach me at the police department.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not going to.
He's doing his day job, right?
Yeah. I still have a job to do.
Absolutely.
I still am employed with the city of Roswell.
Yep.
I take that 100% wholeheartedly, and my morals and ethics are not going to let one cross over to the other. So, feel free to contact me, but I'm going to set up a time.
You're going to be more
outside
apt
of
to talk off hours than on hours about your
But
sheriff
I am open 100%. I am open 100% to answer anybody's questions, to speak with anybody, to meet with anybody. I won't tell you that I have all the answers. I'm not going to promise you the world, because I'm only going to do what I can do.
Sure.
And I'm going to be 100% honest behind it. And if I don't know, I'm going to tell you I don't know. But I'm just real.
Just trying to
just me.
Be the best sheriff
the best I can
be. So.
That's it.
Well, I appreciate the visit.
No,
here,
I appreciate you.
And I'm sure we'll talk more here in the future here. And thank you. Stay safe, and
I appreciate
thank you for your service to the community.
Thank
we
you.
Greatly
I appreciate it.
So.
All righty.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. It is 10 o'clock.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. As a reminder, the City of Artesia Utility Billing Department is in the process of updating their billing system to help better serve the community. The transition, though, has created a temporary delay in the normal billing process. As a result, your next 2 bills will each cover 45 days of service. These next bills will arrive on their normal schedule. The City of Artesia says it apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause. The Artesia City Council meets tonight in regular session. Several items on the agenda, including skydiving and red dirt black gold. If you can't make the City Council meeting, you can always try to attend the Minute with the Mayor. Mayor John Henry will be at the Kith and Kin on Wednesday from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. City Council meetings are also streamed live on the city's Facebook page. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
You're at the airport. Your flight's delayed again. The Wi-Fi's crawling, and you just wasted $10 on a super sad sandwich. Traveling can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. These 3 smart tech hacks can totally save you. I'm Kim Commando for Total AV, award-winning antivirus software for just $19 for the first year. Right now at protectwithkim.com. Impress everyone with this first one. Say you're about to land at the airport. Your friend wants to know what time to pick you up. Just text the flight number to them on iMessage and Google Messages. This turns right into a flight tracker with real-time updates. Number 2, you're in a foreign country. You do not speak the language. Just open Google Translate, tap the camera, and point it at whatever you need help reading. Now you're not lost in translation anymore. Finally, hotels are getting smarter. So many now let you load your room key right into Apple Wallet or Google Wallet. If you have a smartwatch, you only need to tap your wrist on the door to unlock it. Now that's traveling smart. Get my newsletter at getkim.com. Cybercrime is on the rise, and hackers are getting smarter every day. From phishing scams to ransomware attacks, criminals are after your devices and your money. So how do you fight back? One of the best defenses is solid antivirus software. Blocks suspicious websites and stops hackers before they can do any damage. A healthy dose of skepticism when opening emails or clicking links doesn't hurt either. But for the antivirus help you need, I trust and recommend Total AV. They update you in real time, keeping you protected from the latest threats. Go to protectwithkim.com now and get Total AV for just $19 for the first year. It covers up to 5 devices, including Windows, Macs, and smartphones. That's protectwithkim.com. Don't wait until it's too late. Your security matters. Get protected now. Go to protectwithkim.com for my exclusive deal with Total AV. Just $19 for the first year. That's protectwithkim.com. Protectwithkim.com. Protectwithkim.com.
Roswell's home for talk radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
President Trump's federal takeover of Washington's police force has won the backing of the D.C. Police Union. Defense Secretary Hegseth says D.C. National Guard troops are all being called up as part of this crackdown on crime.
We will see them flowing into the streets of Washington in the coming week. There are other units we are prepared to bring in. Other National Guard units, other specialized units. They will be strong. They will be tough, and they will stand with their law enforcement partners.
Congressional Democrats oppose the president's action, arguing, among other things, that it's racist. The president extending a trade truce with China for another 3 months.
The Chinese embassy in Washington said that win-win cooperation between China and the U.S. was the right path. Suppression and containment would lead nowhere. But negotiations to reach a deal beyond the 90 days will be much harder. The U.S. wants more access to China's valuable rare earths. Donald Trump is threatening to impose sanctions to prevent Beijing buying more Russian oil. And China wants Washington to lift curbs on sales of advanced technology so they can buy more computer chips.
The BBC's Laura Bicker. Consumer prices held steady last month, rising 2.7% in July from 1 year ago. That was the same increase as in June. However, core prices, excluding food and gas, rose 3.1%. That would suggest that higher tariffs are driving up the cost of some imported goods. 2 people killed, at least 10 injured in a powerful explosion at a U.S. steel plant just south of Pittsburgh. No word yet on the cause. Shooting at a Target store in the parking lot in Austin, Texas, left 2 adults and a child dead. A suspect is in custody. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 190 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is doubling down on plans for a new offensive in Gaza.
Over the weekend, Netanyahu said not only is Israel going to take Gaza City, but it's also going to take other Hamas strongholds in order to defeat Hamas. Now, this comes amid mounting international pressure as well as pressure from within Israel to end the war. Netanyahu said that he had a talk with U.S. President Donald Trump after announcing these new measures, and he thanked Trump for his steadfast support.
Correspondent Sam Mednick. Some U.S. lawmakers urging the Trump administration to maintain a security partnership with Australia and the United Kingdom to supply nuclear-powered submarines. The Pentagon has announced a review of the agreement, raising concerns about America's shipbuilding capabilities. A review expected to be wrapped up in the fall. News and analysis, townhall.com. 3 years after many youngsters died, the records have been released.
School district officials have released text messages, personnel files, and records of the shooter from the 2022 attack in Uvalde, Texas, that killed 19 students and 2 teachers. The release follows a legal battle over public access to the material. Various media organizations had sued the district and the county for the release of those records. Jason Walker reporting.
NVIDIA and AMD have agreed to share 15% of their revenues from chip sales to China with the U.S. government. The Trump administration halted the sale of advanced computer chips to China back in April over national security concerns, but NVIDIA and AMD revealed in July that Washington would allow them to resume the sales of the chips. Those chips are used in artificial intelligence development. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce, isn't it?
It is. Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Yes, indeed. Deuce Day.
It is. You know, you kind of did that little British thing there, and it kind of got me thinking.
Uh-oh.
Why don't we like to have beans for breakfast? I'm behind beans for
I'm
breakfast.
all for beans. You know, beans on toast especially. I mean, that's a nice combo.
I know it's a pedestrian type meal, and everyone's like, that's your cuisine, but like, you know, like you look at those, you know, traditional British, and they got their bacon and the...
Oh, you're full on English?
Yeah. But they always have baked beans on there.
See,
and I'm always like, I'm kind of down for the baked beans for breakfast.
Their big thing is beans on toast. If you're not doing the full English, they'll just do usually beans on toast first thing in the morning. And actually, I think, if personally speaking, if you look at why the American breakfast, the traditional American breakfast is bacon, eggs, and all that we eat, that's all because of, it all comes down to an advertising executive back in the 1930s that was trying to make breakfast a more like
the most important meal of the day.
He's the one who came up with the whole most important meal of the day thing, and kind of also established the traditional American breakfast, and that's kind of why we lean on those. I think a big part of it is the Heinz people had an executive back in the 30s or whenever that convinced everybody in Britain that beans on toast was a great way to start the day.
Maybe,
getting all your vitamin beans.
All I'm saying is, I'm okay with beans for breakfast.
The one thing that confuses me about the full-on English, I mean, like I get the whole blood sausage thing. That's not for me, but
I've never had it, so I'm willing to try it. To say I tried it, I'm not going to lie. It doesn't look the most appetizing of meats. However, it's sausage.
I'd be willing to try it. It's just I don't think it's necessarily. I'm not their target demo.
Yeah.
But the thing that gets me is if you ever look at like a picture of a traditional full-on English, they always have like 4 tomatoes still on the vine that I think are like roasted or like they're like seared.
Yeah, something like that.
They're cooked.
I don't eat those either. I don't like tomatoes.
Why are they still on the vine? That always kind of threw me off.
Maybe that's just a.
I'm
going to take a stab that's the photo version, photo worthy. The average Brit in their household ain't doing all that.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, I've always been a fan of the. It's funny, my father-in-law, he had a few quirks about him, and one of his things is he'd always just say full-on English whenever anybody asked him what he wanted for breakfast. And so that was like here the traditional, and this one's not on the vine, they're just like roasted tomatoes, and then beans in the middle, but those beans will be transferred to that toast, guaranteed. Or the eggs, because they're generally a runnier egg, and then mushrooms. That's not a traditional breakfast fare.
Now I'll admit, that's an omelet thing. I think he put but anytime I go to like say Golden Corral, and I'll get the scrambled eggs,
sure,
and then I'll get the mushrooms. There's usually a thing of mushrooms out there, and then I'll dump them on the eggs, then I dump the cheese on top of the eggs and the mushrooms.
Man, we went to a breakfast buffet over the weekend in Hobbs, and I was really excited because I'm not a breakfast person in general, but I love a good breakfast buffet.
Yeah.
But and they had all the stuff that I really wanted out there. They had like chicken fried steak with gravy, the biscuits and gravy, the bacon, eggs, and all. They had grits.
It was a stacked, sounds like a stacked buffet.
But here was the problem. Everything, besides the chicken fried steak, that was really good. Their gravy, really on point. Everything else was wet.
Yeah.
Like really, really wet. The eggs were like floating in like butter sauce. Or it's because they didn't want things to dry out on the buffet. I understand.
Sure.
And, probably short-staffed or whatever, but it was like by the third plate, I'm just like, everything is so wet.
Yeah.
Why is everything wet?
It's kind of like if someone pinned me down and said, "What's your favorite breakfast you eat the rest of your life?" And that's it. It's Eggs Benedict. That's my.
Yeah.
That being said, I've never, ever, ever had good Eggs Benedict on a breakfast buffet.
Really?
And no, they've always been either overcooked.
Well, they sit under heat lamps for long enough.
Yeah, because a good Eggs Benedict, you need the yolk. And a lot of times those aren't. The yolk is turned into.
That
yellow.
was the biggest problem I had when the last Benny I got, which was from a local establishment. I won't say the name. The egg was it was too set. The yolk was too set, and it just destroyed the whole thing. It was like, this is like a McMuffin.
Yeah, you need the holidays mixed with the egg yolk to create that perfect.
Which means
medley.
you have to crack that egg as soon as it gets to your table. You have to crack that yolk.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will set because the heat from the meal or from the food will set the yolk.
Yep. So. And by the way, 4 minutes. If you ever poach your own eggs, that's the magic number.
I love poached eggs on toast. That's probably my go-to if I had to pick one breakfast forever.
Well, technically that's a Benedict. You're supposed to poach the egg. That's the proper egg. For
it's just without the hollandaise. And honestly, the Canadian bacon, which I could take or leave, it's sort of like, it doesn't really add much to it.
Well, that to me, no, on a Benedict, that's to me, that is like that in between stuff on a Kit Kat.
Which is actually just ground up Kit Kat.
But you need it there to make the magic happen. It's not there, it's not the same.
It's kind of a bit of a salt kick. Like hollandaise has a little saltiness, but it's really rich and buttery. But then that hit of salt from the Canadian bacon, it's almost too much.
To me, it's a texture thing. So you can kind of get the soft of the egg, and then the bread, and then right in the middle is that meaty chew.
There's a place.
I'm making myself hungry.
I know, right? I haven't had a chance. I didn't get a chance to go there the one time we were in Vegas. I'd love to go back and go, but there's a place called Wicked Spoon, and it's a buffet, but everything is served either on a spoon or in bite-sized portions.
Kind of like
a tasting
tapas or whatever.
Like tapas, yeah. But they have such a wide variety of different cuisines and different foods. So you can try a little bit of everything.
Gotcha.
Figure out what you want, and then kind of, get several spoons of whatever it is that you're actually want.
That's like going to like Costco or Sam's Club, but it's all in one spot instead of you walking around the whole store. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The Gathering of Nations Costco.
He's just like, oh, is that a chicken nugget? Yeah, I'll try one of those.
I will have that. Yes. Berry yogurt, you say? Yes, I'll try that.
Oh, is that some kind of breakfast wafer? Sure, I'll try that.
Poppers, you say? I'm in.
Is that a juice? I'll take a shot.
What I always love with samples is when they can't figure out how to parse it out into bite like a small portion.
Right.
So you get like a full one.
Yeah.
Like chicken wings, for example.
Yeah.
If they're sampling those, you're gonna get a full wing.
Yeah, you can't half a wing.
That's like a tiny meal.
Yeah. And then the wine person shows up and you're like, all right, party's on.
Now we're getting somewhere. Where's the cheese guy?
I had 15 shots of wine.
This big. Well, thimbles of wine. I think I took communion at one point.
That's right. I got to go mosey over to the pizza bagels.
Anybody sampling crisp breads?
Yeah.
Need something to soak up all of this red wine.
Do I smell Pop-Tarts? What is that?
Having been married to somebody who did that for a while, like as a profession, handing out samples, it is not fun.
I don't think
it is not a fun thing to do.
No, because people
And then like you savages.
Oh yeah, they'll take all 60 of them. Like if you got, I'm going to catch up. Next day, one of them rolls in and they're having lunch.
And they're like, "Well, it's free." No, one was.
Yes, I'm not. Does it say soup kitchen anywhere around here?
You just walk up, grab the tray, and just walk away. I'll have these.
I'll be back for the next round in here in 5 minutes.
What always killed me was they'd be like, cooking something like riblets or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a whole process that goes into it. You have to cook the ribs and make the sauce and then toss them and all that. People will stand there for like 20 minutes
waiting
and just stare at you while you work. Like just waiting for their one little sample. Go wander around for a little while. Come back.
You know how you fix that? Do the old. And then get back in there.
They have cameras,
I know, but your line disappears pretty quick when you do that kind of stuff.
That is true.
Get a big old loogie. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, folks, be kind to your sample providers because they really do go the extra mile.
Yeah.
And they love what they do. Like when it comes to like the foods that they are sampling out, they try them first. And they're like, most of them don't sample stuff out that they don't like.
Yeah.
So, listen to them, talk to them.
Are they told what they get, or do they get to like randomly
most of the
walk
time
and pick one?
they get there and they're like, you're assigned to this cart, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing that. But it's also like they have like an info card about like, the product
Sure.
itself.
So you can sell the product.
Mm-hmm. And, they'll, generally speaking, they'll develop a liking for the thing that they're sampling.
Did they get mad when they're like, oh man, all I'm handing out is Pepto-Bismol coupons?
Yes, they do. So the breakup is, and it's a different company that actually does the samples. I'm pulling back. I'm telling all the secrets. It's a different company that does the samples. They come in and they have two categories. They have the food service and then the general.
Okay.
And they usually have tables up in the front. Most of the time, they're handing out like packages of things like Pepsid or something like that,
right?
Or like single-use Mr. Clean magic erasers or whatever.
Yeah,
just there's no fun to be had there.
It's like, oh, this is not even a good one. No one's gonna want to visit.
It doesn't even my booth doesn't even smell good.
I know. I have to actually advertise here.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, do you want to? No, I don't want to cook.
But now they got those kiosks that basically do the same thing. So. Yeah.
We're all being replaced.
Mm-hmm.
Carl's Jr. is now taking your kids.
You're a bad parent. Carl's Jr. cares about the safety of your kids.
That's right. Oh, man.
And if you don't smoke Tarleton's.
Right.
I don't even want anything to do with you.
That's right. I'm hungry. All right, let me give you the
some Fuddruckers right about now.
That's right. Are they pretty much gone the way of the dough? I think most of them have closed down. Haven't
I think they have like one or two locations.
I know Lubbock's
left.
got one still.
Yeah, is
that one in Albuquerque still?
I think they closed. The one by the airport.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they closed down.
Yeah.
But that's there's a whole video out on YouTube, the rise and devastating fall of Fuddruckers.
I don't know. They had the best bar of any time of fixins for a burger.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I've never gone to a Fuddruckers and been disappointed.
Yeah, I was a Fuddrucker fan.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry I got distracted. Let me give you the
Food will do that to us.
Let me give you the rundown. We'll get you update with the weather here in just a bit. I believe it is Dr. Powell will be joining us from Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell, here in just a few. Give us an update, talking probably meal levy a little bit. Of course, like the kids, the college students also back at the grind here for the fall semester. So we'll chit-chat with him about all that. And then later on in the hour, we'll get you update with news and all that good stuff.
Little pro tip, if you are starting off in college, first year, I'm sure you got the freshman jitters and all that. Go to your classes. Like if I can give you any piece of advice, go to your classes because they're not, I know, right? They're not going to like tell you to go to your classes.
Yeah. No, I'm not joking when I said good tip.
I destroyed my first semester of college because I'm like, well, they're not making me go.
They're like, wait a minute, if I don't show up, I'm not getting in trouble.
Right.
All right. Yeah, this is why the other pro tip, and it's probably a little late for this one. You probably should learn. Maybe that first semester, don't sign up for an 8 o'clock class.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You will not want to go.
Wait till you get farther along, and then maybe at 10 o'clock.
First semester, think night school.
There you go. Well, you don't want to do that either because all the good parties will be at night.
Yeah, it's true. It's all vocational stuff at that point.
From 10 to 2. Sign up for all your classes from 10 to 2.
The one class I remember taking that was like a late class, I think it was like 5 to 6. It was astronomy.
Yeah.
And I hated that class. Number one, because it was just the most. Never mind, any astronomy students, don't take my word as God, but I couldn't stand that class. It was boring. It was just useless information. And then I'd walk out and it'd already be dark outside.
Yeah.
You're just like, ugh.
No, I get it. That's not your bag.
This sucks.
There's things that you're way into that someone's like, that's boring.
Mm-hmm.
This is what makes us beautiful.
I got to the point, and I'll tell you, I genuinely took the class because a girl that I liked was in that class.
So many guys probably took classes like that for that very reason.
We got to waxing versus waning moons, and I'm like, my brain's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
None of this makes any sense.
I feel like there wouldn't be a drama club if there wasn't guys joining to meet women.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it'd be all women doing the show.
Just all ladies up there. Yeah, that's very true.
All right, it is 8:21. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a little bit of moist air coming in as part of the monsoon today, so we can't rule out an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Some sun, though, and our high today in the low to mid-80s. Overnight, a few showers till about midnight, then clearing up a little bit. We'll be in the upper 60s, and then sunshine on Wednesday. A very slight chance of a thunderstorm, and we're in the mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, actually, let me refresh, but I think they're having another airport. They're not giving me the totals, just says NA. Anyway, yeah, no current temps for you, but east winds at 5 miles per hour. Sunny and 72 today with east winds at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight we are looking at a 20% chance at showers, partly cloudy, overnight low of 67. Looking at Wednesday, mostly sunny and 96. South winds 5 to 10. Thursday, mostly sunny and a high of 99. Friday, 20% chance at afternoon showers, otherwise mostly sunny and 98. And then for the weekend, 30% chance at rain on Saturday, partly cloudy, 94. Sunday, we're looking at a 30% chance of rain, mostly sunny, and 95. All right, it is up, 74. His phone's working. My National Weather Service doesn't have their game together. It's a government agency. What are you going to do? All right, it is 8:22. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we're going to talk with the folks from Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Don't go away.
Attention homeowners! Fulkerson Plumbing has an August special that's too important to miss. This month only, take advantage of their whole home plumbing inspection and water heater flush. Now only $149 for homes up to 2 bathrooms and $249 for 3 or more bathrooms. They'll check all the plumbing fixtures for leaks, damage, and corrosion. Plus, offer special repair discounts. Right Fit members save up to 20% while non-members still save 10%. Don't let hard water cause major issues for the plumbing in your home. Protect your investment. Call Fulkerson Plumbing today, 575-221-9772.
At Martine's Capital Cafe, come in and enjoy a delicious variety for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Try our burritos, huevos rancheros, asado, chorizo, sausage, flautas, fajitas, chili rellenos, quesadillas, enchiladas, sopapillas, and don't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger and so much more. Everything is prepared with the finest and freshest ingredients. Martine's Capital Cafe. Quality, value, tradition, and the most delicious New Mexican food since 1989. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th Street in Roswell.
2 days only. The Old Crow Productions Roswell Gun Show, August 16th and 17th at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. Vendors from all over the U.S., including Osprey Optics. We will have rifles, shotguns, pistols, a large selection of ammo, body armor, and so much more. Only guns and gun-related items at this 2-day event. Kids 12 and under are free. Special discounts for police and first responders with prizes each day and a raffle on Sunday. The Old Crow Productions Roswell Gun Show, Saturday, August 16th from 9 to 6 and Sunday, August 17th from 10 to 4 at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. Log on to oldcrowproductions.com for more information.
Who doesn't think the dentist is a big deal? I know what you're thinking. What will they find? How much will it hurt? What are my options? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher, and I am here to tell you that here at Carabelli Dental, it is our job to put you at ease. With options like sedation dentistry, you can rest assured that regardless of what dental work you might need, you can get it done while resting comfortably. Call our office now and speak to our knowledgeable staff about setting up your new patient appointment.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-622-4455.
Did you know almost 75% of the time we're replacing a roof, something totally weird or unexpected or bizarre happens? Jennifer here again from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that we are always prepared for the unexpected. That's why we always have project superintendent on site at your home at all times to handle those weird, bizarre things as they pop up. Things like an unexpected layer of wood shake shingles under your shingles or rotted out decking boards, problems with flashing or ridges or missing supplies that somebody needs to chase down. These are the kinds of problems that normally grind the crews from other roofing companies to a halt and delay the project. But not with our super awesome superintendent there. He's equipped to handle any problem and keep the project moving along smoothly. Just one more way we do things better at Trustmark Roofing. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Try all 293 on the guy who keeps borrowing money from you. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 26 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning, Dr. Sean Powell back with us here from Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And a guest as well, Adam Sines. Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Doing well.
Well, it's kind of a busy time right now at the college. Imagine you got, with everyone getting back into this fall semester and people getting into their routines and what have you. So probably been a busy couple weeks here on the campus.
Yeah, and enrollment is still ongoing, as you know, and classes start on Monday.
Yeah.
Faculty have come back, and so they're getting ready for the classes that start next week. And Dr. Sine is with us, and he's going to be talking to our faculty and staff and also visiting the school districts here in Chavez County and talking with their superintendents. He does a lot of consultation with schools and universities, and so we're happy to have him here with us.
Excellent. Well, and welcome to the show here.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about some of the things that you work with the staff and some of the students on not only at the college here, but the other schools here around the district.
Right. The catchphrase in the field of psychology is emotional intelligence, which kind of sounds abstract, but I think practically speaking, you can think of it as soft skills. So hard skills are what students are learning at the university, whether it's welding or nursing, medical.
Something tangible.
Something tangible that's going to show up on their resume, which is wonderful. Those are hard skills. The soft skills are things like eye contact, communication, interpersonal skills, knowing your emotions, knowing how to regulate the emotions. And so that's sort of my area.
Things you kind of learn from being in a group setting or public environment, or things that, that you just pick up.
Exactly.
Not someone doesn't sit down and say, okay, when you look at someone, you should, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just,
exactly.
Just natural reaction things, which is instinctual for some.
That's right.
And not so much for others.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And to be honest, and this would be kind of an interesting topic, just, talking the generational portion of that kind of thing,
right.
where, depending on, how old you are and how you were raised and how you grew up, that's going to impact how you walk and talk and act socially in circles and things. And if someone that grew up, more behind computers and in less, social environments, they're not going to navigate in-room interpersonal contact or they're, they don't have, you know what I mean? And so
Absolutely.
I think some of that's generational and some of that's, it's and now we all got to figure out how to all commingle there. And
that's right.
The talkers
That's right.
to the, wallflowers kind of thing.
That's right. And, and for someone who's 18, 19, 20 years old, you grow up in a digital world, you're used to being in media, on media, which is great if you're interacting with another 18, 19, 20-year-old, but you go into the workplace after you've acquired your hard skills, and you got people my age that didn't grow up with that. And so it's, like you say, it's this cross-generational consideration. We got to figure out, like, how do we do this?
Yeah.
So.
And it's kind of, obviously, from your perspective, people are going to think their way's the right way, obviously.
That's right.
That's just natural, humanity and how we do it. But I'm going to take a stab that the reality is it's an evolution of both and over things. And as time progresses, as technology progresses, we're going to still see changing and patterns in how we do these kinds of things. And
definitely. And I was telling Dr. Powell, just in the last week, I had a problem with my AC, the house. So I made 2 calls, right? And so on paper, both companies, both technicians had the same hard skill set, right? I can fix your AC, sure.
Sure.
One of them, very kind, very friendly. Tell me about what's going on. Okay, when did it start? Okay, where do you live? Okay, we think we can get. And then the other just kind of acted like I was wasting his time. What's your name? Where is it? Just kind of gruff. You know?
Sure.
And it was an easy decision. It was, the same hard skill set, but the soft skills are what sold me. So
Absolutely.
That's why I believe in the value of it.
Everybody needs to learn bedside manner, even if you're not a doctor.
Yeah. Totally. That's right.
And some doctors need to learn it too, but that's another conversation for another day here.
Yeah.
So during this week, are you going to be kind of having different sessions, things, or just kind of popping into various departments, or how's kind of your flow of the week going?
Boy, we've got it booked up. It's going to be fun. We're working with students. We're working with different districts, Roswell and surrounding community schools, working on campus with faculty and staff, leadership, like you name it. And so I'm thrilled. I'm really, truly honored that Dr. Powell was able to bring me in.
Just gee whiz curious,
Sure.
in your personal experience, who's the harder mountain to move? Getting the talkers to understand the non-talkers, or get the non-talkers to be more like talkers?
Boy, isn't that a good question? Golly. I defer to Dr. Powell.
I just didn't know, like, in your personal experience, you talk, like, who's the more stubborn of the two? I'm just wondering.
Boy, I don't, man, it's they're both pretty set in the way. So
Gotcha. Yeah. It's kind of, what's a movable object going against an unstoppable force, or whatever it is, and let's see who wins. But that's going to be, I hope that some people kind of come to realize and open their eyes a little bit, at least come to maybe put a crack or two in that armor a little bit as the week goes here, because it's, and this is something, I'm in my 50s now, and it's something, as I'm getting older and learning, and it's like, it's easier as the older we get to more set and harden in your ways, and I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty set and hard in some of my ways. But I also need to realize this is the problem with getting older. You're not willing to look at other opportunities, or look at, what, someone just might have a better perspective on this than you do. And the older I get, I disconnect less with that, and I need to remind myself to do that. And I don't know if that's just humanity in general or just me individually, but I've noticed that as getting older, I am less tolerant of things that I probably wouldn't have cared 2 things about 15, 20 years ago.
Oh, sure. And I think just from a kind of a year chronology perspective, now's the ideal time for, if I'm a young man or a young woman thinking about college in any capacity, whether 4-year university or trade school, whatever it might be, August is when things happen, and so that's when I'd want to get connected. The soft skills matter so much. Just reaching out and finding a faculty that can walk you through, because neither of my parents went to college. I grew up in South Texas near the border of Mexico. And to be honest, my very first experience at UTSA, the University of Texas at San Antonio, my first experience when I stepped off the bus and stepped onto the campus was a panic attack. I had no idea what to do. I just was scared. I was overwhelmed. I was intimidated. And connecting with faculty and administrators was like the game changer for me. I think that's probably why I'm so passionate about the area of emotional intelligence as a psychologist now, is because that was the, again, back to hard skills, soft skills. Hard skills are the gears in the machine. Soft skills are the oil that keep the gears from stripping. And boy, it was my saving grace many, many years ago. So anyway, if there are any young men, young women listening now that are, thinking about enrolling, now's the time. And connecting with an advisor, a faculty, someone who can guide you, I think it's so important.
Absolutely. And the sooner you learn these or understand that concept, the better it'll serve you the rest of your life.
Oh, gosh.
When you were talking here, I just happened to start, there's a television show on FX called The Bear that I've been watching. I don't know if you're familiar with it ever, but it almost describes kind of what you're talking about to a T. And what I mean by that is, in that show, it's talking about the chefs, and we're talking Michelin star, the upper tier of chef type people. And you could literally, and that show kind of points out, you could have a room full of the most talented chefs in the world in a room, and that restaurant still failed. And it's really because of the soft skills you're talking about.
Right.
The egos can't get past each other. The set ways of this is my way is the right way, and that room full of that doesn't happen with and that's so talent is very important. But like you're saying, without the grease in the middle, doesn't matter how talented you are, it's not going to work out. And so it's just I was thinking of that show, The Bear, because I mean that really kind of is an example of what exactly you're talking about.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, well, that'll be great that we get. I hope I'll notice next month if Dr. Powell starts trying to use hip words or say something.
Hey,
he walks in and goes, "That's so sus, man. What's going on?" I'm gonna know what's up.
You got to be groovy, right?
That's right. Now, if I see the students use groovy, I'm like, "Ooh, it went the other way."
Oh, there we go.
Very good.
So classes are getting ready to start on Monday.
Yes.
And as you've been talking, I've been thinking we have a lot of first generational students, obviously, that are coming to campus, and we encourage those students. And like Adam is saying, please connect with faculty and staff on campus, talk with those professionals that are there to help you. And
utilize the resources.
And that's what I talked about with our students at orientation just last week. We had over 100 students come to one of the orientation sessions, and many of them, it was their first time, to think about going to college. Fortunately, a lot of them had been on campus either through Gear Up or TRIO programs or school visits because of the relationships we have with the different districts here in Chavez County.
Absolutely.
But we're looking forward to Monday being here. The first day of school is always exciting, and then we'll get rolling. And
if you got some time this week and you're not familiar with the campus, take a moment and get the lay of the land a little bit. It's much easier to get lost today than Monday morning when you're trying to make your 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock class and you get lost. And so that way you go have lunch or something and check out the library, check out your resources. And visit those resources. Like I know on campus there's aid for various things. If obviously, and I'm going to take a stab that at some point in your college career, you're going to be hit with assignments and things that are going to challenge you. Yeah. There are resources on campus that can help you navigate those humps. When that math problem you just can't get over, or that psychology exam that you can't get around, whatever it is, there's support there as well. And then, of course, financial and stuff too. If you're, I get it. It's a community college. You might be, working a full-time job and then working class at night or online or weekends or whatever it is. And you're like, I got to pay the bills, but there's food pantries, there's other financial resources as well that, because I get it. Living as a college student is not the most financially acceptable thing when you're trying to work, raise a family, and better your education at the same time. So all those hurdles that sometimes don't cause people not to finish or to stop, there are resources on the campus, and before you cut bait, so to speak, let's tap into those. Let's see what's out there. Trust me, for every issue or thing you've got going on, there's probably 10 students that are walking in those exact same shoes, and you can kind of, there's strength in numbers on that kind of stuff sometimes when they're working together and there is a common problem, then a lot of times you can find a common solution. So it's utilize these sources. This is the difference between getting a degree or getting, following that career path you want to and not doing it.
Well, and again, last year our age range, I haven't heard it for the fall yet because enrollment's still going on, but we served 14 to 77-year-olds last year, and my guess is it'll be something similar
somewhere
to
in that ballpark.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, as a community college, we try to meet the needs of all the members of the community.
Absolutely.
And that can be in a variety of ways.
And don't forget, for, say you're a retiree or you're not necessarily pursuing a degree plan per se, but you're like, hey, I've always wanted to take ceramics, or I've always wanted to do philosophy, or whatever it is. Something you just never got to, utilize this now as a thing. You can take a class and you don't have to do it for credit hours. You could do it for personal enrichment, and who knows, you might just meet friends and all of a sudden have a social scene and everything else too. So don't think of the campus as just a place to earn degrees or earn job promotions. It's there for personal enrichment too, or phys ed classes and stuff. Say, hey, I need to get in shape. All right, let's sign up for a phys ed class, or sign up for one of those. And now you got someone forcing you to exercise a couple times a week.
Right.
You know, there's lots of different resources for you at the campus here. So,
well,
of course, this semester is going to be a little unique too, because for the first time we've got the air races coming up. So I imagine that's going to put a slight hitch in the semester giddy up of the normal flow of things for at least that week they're in town.
So the week of the air races, that Wednesday on the 10th of September that goes to the 14th through Sunday, we're going to be remote that week. Early College High School, University High School, and I believe Sidney Gutierrez are all going to be remote that week. You know, with the ticket sales over 60,000 more than a month ago, I don't know what the latest update is on ticket sales. You might have a better estimate of it.
I don't know, but it's somewhere in that ballpark, yeah. And all I know is the campus will probably be pretty full with parking and everything. So, so you guys get to stay home and just show your shining faces on computer screens that week.
So we are going to have the dining hall will be open, our gym will be open, because there's going to be a lot of people, I think, that are going to be out at the Air Center. I know the Racing Association has worked out leases with RV companies, and there's going to be lots of RVs that people are going to be living in during that time period.
We see guys in bathrobes walking.
Right.
Just kidding.
So we'll have the gym available, you know, for workouts or showers, whatever anybody might want to do.
Sure.
We'll also have, like I said, the dining hall. And then we'll have our Performing Arts Center. What we're going to try to do with the Boy Scouts, the Conquistador Council of Boy Scouts, is to show movies at night.
Oh, nice.
Have it like an old base theater.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
So, you know, we'll have some different things happening on campus during that time period.
Nice. Those are, you said base theater. I'll never forget those movies. I was military too, and that hits a certain note in your brain when you remember.
Yeah.
Candy was pretty cheap at those theaters too, you know, respectively.
Yeah.
You know, they knew we're all broke airmen, so you know, they couldn't afford $10 popcorns.
Another thing prior to the air races, so August 28th, if I don't say this, I'll get in trouble with our marketing and public relations folks. So August 28th, we're going to have a welcome back event. This is an ongoing thing we do each fall. It'll be in the Sculpture Garden. And members of the community are welcome to be there. It'll be from 3 to 7. And we'll have a lot of different things. In the past, we've had the miniature golf. We've had the zoo come out and bring animals. And I don't know what exactly the plan is going to be this go around. They put it together, and I just kind of say,
it involves cannons.
Okay,
And, no, I'm just kidding.
Tell me when I'm supposed to be there. And they
may or may not be fireworks. I'm not sure, but there will be a few explosions. I'm just kidding.
But we'll have that welcome back event on August 28th, again from 3 to 7, and anyone from the community is available. Also, this semester, you know, we're going for a mill levy on the November ballot, and this is to increase career and technical education programming. We're hosting a series of dinners, and we have some different dates for those. We found a file with 4,100 alumni from Chavez County, and so we're sending mailers out to those individuals to try to encourage them to come to the dinners. And these are dinner presentations about career and technical education and our future planning, what we see as the future for the campus.
See where this money's being spent.
Right.
Seeing exactly where your future's going with this stuff.
And we're thinking of a couple of programs right now. I mean, these are all based on being able to get the mill levy passed. But if we could get the mill levy passed in November, then we would be looking at adding a physical therapy assistance program. There's a big need for PTAs. And then also we're looking at perhaps a diesel program for the tractors and the heavy
There's
diesel.
always a need for that type of labor force around here. So, yeah. This is the thing I say it every time when we talk about mill levies or bonds or any of these other things is, you know, when they're asking you to vote yes on these things come election time, these are truly the investments. Now, they can't say vote yes. They just ask you to, you know, basically be aware of it and, you know, say vote yes without saying vote yes. But anyway, I can say whatever I want. I'm a DJ. But I'm telling you, this is an investment in your community. You want great things. You want, like, let's face it, we live in the state of New Mexico, and you all know, just like I know, you turn on a statistic and we're always 49th and 50th in it, whether it's education or poverty or whatever. We seem to be the bottoms of every one of these types of lists. You want to fix these things? Investing in education is a start to do that. And so when you vote on these bonds, when you're voting on these mill levies, these are your commitment to our future and our education. So, and yes, it may not be for you now. You're like, I'm 40s, I'm whatever, I've already got my job. But guess what? You're going to retire and you're going to sit here, and then these young men and women, they're the ones that are going to be your mayors, your city councilors, your Fortune 500 company, your scientists. These are the people that, while you're sitting there yelling at the kids to get off your lawn because you're retired, these are the ones that are going to keep the future going. And so, as adults, it is our obligation to help provide that foundation for the next generation. And this is really how we do it, is voting yes to ensure that our facilities, when your kid or your grandkid or your neighbor's kid goes there to get an education, lack of resources and lack of educational materials and lack of the stuff to get it done is going to not be a problem. And that's why we want you to vote on these bonds and things. That's the big picture.
Well, and I think career technical education is a great place to start, and then you can see if you want to stay in the career and tech ed world, or if you want to advance your career in that field. We had a staff member, I don't want to say her name, but we had a staff member who's an alum, and I asked her how her weekend went, and she said, well, it was going okay, but then I had to replace my alternator, and the problem was the oil cap was right in the way when I had to replace my alternator. Well, she's a graduate of our automotive tech program and has gone on to get 2 masters now. Okay. Yeah. But she knows how to do all that.
And that's just it. It's exactly, whether you do it for a living or not, that's a skill they can't take away from you. And I'm sorry, if you can do your own automotive repair, I mean, that's baller skills right there. Just saying. You're like, what's that thing? It's like, oh, that's part of the thing for the fuel injection. What? What's fuel injection? All right, we got this. Don't worry about it. Yeah. No, that's matter of fact, I don't, you know what? It's funny you mentioned that. The gentleman who was president or vice president before you were, he used to, when he come on the radio, he actually went to school, same thing. He went on to be a mechanic and everything, and he ended up being a college president. So obviously didn't go into that field, but he said exactly what you're saying. He goes, yeah, I change my own oil, I do my own. He goes, yeah, I got trained in this, and I'm not doing an but these are skill sets that stay with me the rest of my lives. And it's just funny if you happen to be automotive and just the exact same example we're talking here. But that's true with anything else, welding or, I'm sorry, if you got welding skills, even though you go on to be a lawyer or whatever you decide to do, there's, it's the more you can do yourself, the better you'll find life is easier to navigate. Just saying. The older I get, the more I learn that lesson. So yeah, right. Just because you started it here doesn't mean that's the thing you're going to enter. Now it doesn't mean it's not, but it's okay if you went down this path and said, you know what? Turns out this is, I like the work, but I ain't gonna make no money doing this. I need to find something else to do. It's that. Trust me, for every time you've done that, there's a million other people did the exact same thing, and a million more that will continue to do that. Mm-hmm. So and to me, this is why I say places like ENMU are where you need to start. I get it. Some of us hit the path, and we've got the 4.0 and this, and the president's this and that, and we're off to Harvard. I get you. That there's that path, but 99% of us don't fall in that category. And guess what? English 101 is exactly the same at Eastern as it is at UNM or Harvard or any other place for that matter. And guess what? You're paying about 1/10 of the credit price that you would be on that. So if you're not sure your direction or you're not sure your path, it's okay to get lost at Eastern for a little bit to find your path. And that's what we want you. If you don't know it, let's do the Costco walk around and sample all the dishes and see what resonates for us here. You know what I mean? Let's try that out. So come. I know this week's a busy week, but you can still come down to the campus today, get registered, talk to an admissions counselor, and get the ball rolling here. and get you signed up for day one next week here when the classes start going here.
Well, and I think just want to give a shout out to our foundation for their support of this mill levy effort. And what you're saying also, it's a great place to be at Eastern New Mexico University Roswell to start out, small class sizes. The state now has the opportunity in lottery scholarships, so you can go part-time, and that's tuition and fees paid for if you're a New Mexico resident and meet the other criteria. Our financial aid individuals are ready to meet with you.
In this day and age, desire is the biggest hurdle. We can find the money. There's always someone willing to give you money if you have the desire and the work ethic to go after it. You know, I tell people all the time, you know, and I say it almost every time we talk with you, is as soon as you're done in the admissions office, walk your butt right into the financial aid office, get your FAFSA form filled out if it's not already done, and let's let them turn over rocks for you and find some scholarship money for you. You know, that's every single student. That should be your next step. I don't care if you're a millionaire or you can't rub two nickels together. You need to walk into that room and see what they can do for you.
Right.
So I'm sorry, I got on soapbox lifting right here. But
again, we're excited for the start of school. We're excited for the air races in less than a month now.
Absolutely. So please get geared up here, sign up for classes, and then please, this mill levy. If you have questions, there's going to be, I know between now and then, a few of these different forums and things that you'll be able to kind of learn more about that. If you have questions, please go to these events. Please don't hesitate to ask these questions. But when you're all said and done, I'm going to ask you vote yes on this stuff, because this is how we take the steps for the next generation, and that's the only way we can do it. You know, through this kind of stuff.
Well, and the next dinner, I'll just let people know, is going to be August 21st, and it's a presentation. We'll have members of the local community come in and talk, business individuals, folks from industry, and then we'll have our deans talk about the health science programs that are available and the tech ed programs, and then future planning and what we're looking at down the road. August 21st is the next one, so a week from Thursday.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in going, Lindy Newman, and her phone number at the college is 575-624-7112.
Very good. And of course, if you're driving, don't remember that, you can call the main number and
ask for Lindy
and
Newman.
Linda, or just say, hey, I heard about that event on the 21st. Can you transfer me to the person that I can RSVP with? And they'll get you taken care of here.
Yeah.
So, Adam, I did want to give you a chance. I know you got books out and things. If folks want to kind of delve into what you're doing and maybe, read it, but I don't know, maybe probably ask you to consult on some things for their own businesses or institutions.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. The first book I wrote, it's called The Power of a Teacher. And like I said, I grew up low income home. Neither of my parents went to college. And my saving grace were teachers that, they just, they took me under their wing and they nurtured me, and they were a deciding factor for me growing up in a environment where I was using drugs and had problems with the law, and everything strikes against me. But again, I had teachers that were the saving grace. So the book is The Power of a Teacher. And it really summarizes a lot of the emotional intelligence work I do with educators. We have a lot of programs that are wonderful, that are student-focused. My passion as a school psychologist is to work with the adults in the building to make sure that they're taken care of. And so that book, The Power of a Teacher, is really I call it a holistic self-care guide for teachers. You know, if I'm a teacher, how do I manage my money? How do I manage my body? How do I manage my spirit? How do I manage my occupation? Yeah. So that's one book available on Amazon.
Okay. As married to a teacher, I can understand and empathize with everything you're talking about.
Yeah. The thing about teachers is their superpower is their empathy. You know, they just love so well. Their problem is their empathy. They wake up thinking about others, which is noble, but it's not always sustainable. So
it's unhealthy sometimes.
It can be. It can be. Yes. And so this book sort of gives them the permission to be the need haver instead of the need meter.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then my most recent book is called The EQ Intervention. And it's really about this work that we're talking about, soft skills. You know, how do I know myself, my stress, my feelings, my thoughts in any position? How do I regulate that so that I then can engage the world around me to make the best decisions possible.
So you're not part of the disconnect and part of the connect.
Exactly. That's right.
Can they find the books on Amazon and everything?
On Amazon, right.
Very
Last
good.
name is Saenz, S-A-E-N-Z. Sounds like stop signs, but it's spelled a little differently, S-A-E-N-Z. But yeah, on Amazon.
Well, thank you very much.
You bet.
And of course, like I said, you'll be here throughout the week. And
That's right.
Maybe folks will be lucky enough to have you pop in for a visit during the week here and everything else. Of course, roswell.enmu.edu is the website. You can go there and of course, register, see the entire course catalog, and of course, any other information about the campus and upcoming events. All of that is there at the website. Especially if you're a student, I always, if you use Facebook, definitely like and follow the ENMU social media platforms, particularly if no other reason. That's usually the first source when there's weather delays or those kinds of things. That usually pops up there first. But just to stay abreast of everything going on around the campus there. So, anything else we want to mention, Dr. Powell?
I don't think so. Again, appreciate the time today, and just look forward to the classes starting, and there's still time to enroll.
Please do so. And even if it's, one class, let's start there. Let's take a thing. Let's, sometimes you realize the other holes in your life will get filled by something else you do. You didn't realize, that you're thinking, well, I don't have many friends. Guess what? Now you kind of meet new people, and you'd be amazed at sometimes just making a step in a positive direction to try to better your life, even if it's something small, the impact it can have on everything else. Yeah. Good deal. And was there anything else you wanted to mention that I jumped over or soapboxed on or something?
I think that's it. Thrilled to be here. It's a great place.
Well, good deal. Well, get your fix of green chili before you go. I know. I hate to say it. Texas don't know how to do Mexican food. They don't. They try really hard. They're not as good at it. Sorry. I'm in the third party. I'm from Maryland originally. I've been here 25 years, so I'm not native. So I can say New Mexico's got Texas beat when it comes to Mexican food. A couple of ribs and brisket, I'm not going to get in that fight, but Mexican food, we win.
Fair enough.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Powell.
you.
All right, 8:57. Let's pause for your Red Apple update and a quick break before news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report, sponsored by Abacus Global Management.
Good morning. New cost of living and other economic data start coming in now that may affect whether stocks will keep rising like they have been. If the cost of living numbers are up by much, Wall Street will think inflation is hitting. After President Trump's firing of the Labor Statistics Commissioner, firms including Morgan Stanley say the firing has raised questions about whether the accuracy of the official economic data has been compromised. The Nasdaq was the latest index to hit a record high like the S&P 500 has. It used to always be called the tech-heavy Nasdaq, and it's the tech stocks that pushed it up this year. More new investors have also been buying stocks on the dips. Bank of America warned that the Federal Reserve cutting interest rates next month may be premature. With inflation still higher than targeted and hiring slowing, the reason they've not cut rates is because that could add to inflation. The Wall Street Journal reports some who've been laid off are finding that it's worth paying $30 a month for LinkedIn Premium for networking. With all the interest in business, the Wall Street Journal keeps growing and now has more than 4 million digital subscribers. With business, I'm Joe Connolly.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report, sponsored by Abacus Global Management.
What if the future of finance wasn't built around averages, but around you? At Abacus Global Management, we're reshaping financial planning around the most personal data point, your lifespan. But it's more than just insight, it's control. As a technology-driven asset manager, we're empowering investors with an integrated system to take command of your time, your future, your financial destiny. This is a new era of investing. Take control at abacusgm.com.
Hey Roswell, trade up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for less during the final days of the summer clearance event at Roswell Ford. Right now, save big with clearance prices on new Fords with 0% APR and make no payments for 90 days. Your friends at Roswell Ford make upgrading to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for less super fun, super fast, and super easy. If you're making payments on your current vehicle and want out early, Roswell Ford will do whatever it takes to free you from your trade, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders that will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. Get huge American-made savings, more for your trade, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, because we'll do whatever it takes to make a deal. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 48 months is $20.83 per thousand finance. Interest accrues from date of sale, subject to lender approval on select vehicles. Offers not combined.
Squalor. Mr. Trump calling out the National Guard. He's also federalizing the D.C. police force. City officials object. They claim that violent crime has declined significantly in the district over the past few years. Protesters turned out not far from where they were marching and shouting in the street. There was another fatal shooting. Suspect in custody following a shooting outside a Target store in Austin, Texas.
We have 3 people that are deceased. This is a very sad day for Austin. It's a very sad day for us all.
Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis, heard there on KVUE TV, says the suspect is a 32-year-old male with a mental health history. President Trump describing his upcoming summit with Russia's Vladimir Putin as a feel-out meeting.
When he sits down with Putin on Friday, the president predicts he'll know the outcome right away.
Probably in the first 2 minutes, I'll know exactly whether or not a deal can be made.
And he says the meeting in Alaska could go one of 2 ways.
I may say, lots of luck, keep fighting, or I may say we can make a deal.
The president says both Russia and Ukraine will have to give up land in order to end the war. Greg Clugston, the White House.
And Wall Street is well pleased with today's report on consumer prices. The Dow is up 460 points, a gain of just over 1%. The Nasdaq ahead 149, and the S&P is up 46 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals, too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
South Korean intel officials estimate more than 50,000 North Korean laborers have been shipped off to Russia, working in slave-like conditions primarily at construction sites. BBC's Jean McKenzie is in Seoul.
We've spoken to 6 North Koreans who've managed to escape. They all described being confined to their construction sites, where they worked 18 hours a day for little or no pay, because their earnings were sent to fund the North Korean regime. He is one of the workers. We voiced his words to protect him.
We were treated like animals. The other workers used to say we were just slaves for Kim Jong-un. They used to taunt us. You're not men, just machines that can speak.
Russia faces an acute manpower shortage fueled by its ongoing war in Ukraine. Since the outbreak of the war, the Russia-North Korean alliance has grown stronger. The North also supplies soldiers to fight with Russia in Ukraine. News and analysis at townhall.com. Remember that distinctive sound of dial-up internet? Some people still hear that sound, but not for much longer.
While perhaps a dinosaur by today's digital standards, dial-up is still around, but AOL says it's officially pulling the plug for its service on September 30th, with AOL noting in a brief update that it routinely evaluates its offerings and had decided to discontinue dial-up on AOL plans and associated software. AOL, formerly America Online, introduced many households to the Internet for the first time when it launched dial-up just decades ago, rising to prominence particularly in the 90s and early 2000s. Keith Peters, Washington.
Ford says it's going to invest almost $2 billion to retool a Kentucky plant to produce electric vehicles. The automaker says the goal is to produce EVs that are more affordable, profitable to make, and outcompete rivals. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The traveler said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos
of Mornings with Mike Winters. Right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday.
Yeah.
Welcome to it.
Indubitably.
Sorry. I was looking at you again. I turned it the other way. I knocked it over earlier by accident.
I hadn't really noticed. You're in my world now, Grandpa. That movie does denote a rewatch. I haven't done it yet, but just to go back and kind of see where everybody is.
Well, pull back to the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
His new profession is alcohol counselor.
Yes.
He went from being the nurse or whatever at
nursing home to substance abuse counselor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the guy I really want to trust with my sobriety.
That's right. Yeah. I don't. Now I got to go back. Was the Mr. guy lady in it?
What?
The Mr. lady.
Oh.
Remember when he's going to visit Grandma, and then the lady jumps on the hood of the car, Mr.
Oh.
And here's some food. Throws Burger King at her. Yeah.
No, I don't think she made an appearance. However, the pictures of the old ladies on their headstones in the graveyard.
Yes.
That was hilarious.
That was a nice little tribute.
That's a great little touch.
There's a lot of throwbacks.
They're
in
like,
there.
Here's this lady. Don't remember her name, but you know her face. They just put her picture on the headstone. Like that's a normal thing people do.
Yeah. It was if you haven't seen it yet, it's worth a watch. And you like the Happy Gilmore movies. It's
honestly, it's one of those I'm like, oh, I didn't go back and watch the first. You don't need to.
You don't have to.
No. They
really
do
don't.
Plenty enough setup right at the beginning and you learn about everybody.
Well, and in all fairness, a guy like me, I think I've seen Happy Gilmore 437 times.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't. You know what I mean? Certain movies I've seen a lot. And pretty much all of those Adam Sandler movies from that era, I've seen a million times. Billy Madison, Waterboy,
do you think
Happy Gilmore, all those.
Do you think that the tie-in, because Subway was a big part of the original Happy Gilmore.
Correct.
His whole like bag, and that was like his main sponsor.
Yeah.
Do you think that influenced your love of Subway? Because you are a man who enjoys a good Subway sandwich, like on a regular basis. You eat more Subway, I think, than most people I've known.
Well,
you eat more Subway than Jared.
In all fairness,
I know it's proximity.
it is.
Yeah.
If there was a Jimmy John's down the street, I'd probably eat a lot of Jimmy. You know what I'm just saying?
Dude,
it just happens to be nearby.
I saw a closed one too, but I saw an open Quiznos.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I was sad.
They were closed at the time, but they were still open for business.
I was sad when we lost our Quiznos some 20 years ago or whenever it was. I was sad inside.
Yeah. Toasty bread and melted cheese. Quiznos.
Yeah.
It was a
I blame
space
that.
of
I blame
memories.
that rat thing they had as a mascot. It went all downhill once
love
they
the sun.
once
Oh
they
my
introduced
God.
that thing. Quiznos went downhill.
Speaking of hideous things beyond all compare,
Yeah.
and I know that you probably aren't as in tuned to the pulse of modern trends.
I got my finger all over that pulse.
Because
Sean.
you don't have kids, is what I mean.
No, because I'm 50 and I don't care.
Have you seen? There's this massive obsession now with these little dolls called Labubu.
Labubu.
Have you seen these?
I guess I have not.
Okay, they're everywhere. They look like reject characters from Where the Wild Things Are.
Okay.
But they're like everybody's talking about.
Is this like our back in our day, the Monchi-Chis and the
kinda?
Yeah.
They all look. There's some version
those
or
pencil
variation
trolls.
of these, and they're like
they look like
backpack
Beanie
hangers.
Babies on steroids.
Yeah.
Or not Beanie Babies, Teletubbies.
Teletubbies
on
kinda.
steroids. Yeah.
But they have like different colors of them, but they all just look. They're just not. I don't like looking at them.
To
But
me, they remind me, just on that one picture, of the mascot for the college and community.
The human being?
Yes, it looks like some weird version of that.
Oh, my favorite aspect of the human being was always that his face was made from that marker that kids used to get high with.
Right.
And that's why he was just basically in a state of constant mania.
It looks like somebody made a plush version of that.
But it's like, okay, it's like the trend wave on the internet went from like Dubai chocolate to Labubu.
Yeah.
And that's like, this is the new thing. Like kids, Rhiannon's asking me for one, it's like, but, and you can find them retail for like, 16, 17, but some people online are selling them for $50, $60, $70.
I reference all of you people to Beanie Babies. You think you're making money off this?
No, they're not. I don't think that they're even collectible for that. I think it's like it's a status symbol.
I don't know. But if you're paying $60 for a stupid little tiny plushed animal, just saying.
Yeah, no, it is ridiculous. It's
sucker.
But I will say that the one good aspect that comes out of it is it is something that is physical. It's tangible.
It's true.
Which means you have to leave your house for others to appreciate it.
There you go.
So it sort of forces you to touch grass. And I kind of like that. But beyond that, they're just hideous looking.
Yeah.
And I don't get it.
Yeah.
Again, I know old man yells at cloud.
No,
I
I
don't
get it.
understand Labubu and Dubai chocolate. That whole thing.
By the way, I think I still need. I gotta try that chocolate.
We really do.
I know we're way behind the 8 ball on that one.
Well, and now I saw it. They're trying different iterations at Albertsons. Now they have Dubai chocolate caramels.
Ooh, I just want the OG.
Yeah, I just want to try the original. That's
like I was watching another show that I kind of like that comes on right at this time of the year every year. It's one of the Food Network shows I like.
Okay.
The Great Food Truck Race.
Oh yeah,
I love that show. And they just started a new season last week, and so I've been watching the first 2 episodes, and of course right in there, one of the food trucks, they used Dubai chocolate for their dessert. I'm like, see. And this was filmed like a year ago,
right? Before the trend was even a thing.
Yeah.
Like I understand when like it was actually being imported from from the UAE and import costs and all that for it to be $17, $18 a piece. But we have all that stuff right here.
People just like paying a lot of money for things.
We're like one of the biggest pistachio producing states in the country.
It's nuts.
It's straight nuts.
Yeah.
And I would think that we could easily, replicate the Dubai chocolate recipe.
I will tell
for
you
a lot
this.
Cheaper.
One of my favorite things at all those pistachio places is that bark, the chocolate bark.
Yeah.
That's the problem, is I usually eat that thing before I leave the ranch. And I'm like, I don't have any more bark.
The bark is up there. The fudge is really, really good too.
Yeah.
However, if you're ever traveling through You could stop and take your picture in front of the big pistachio, but go about a mile further. Stop at Heart of the, I think it's called Heart
of the Desert?
Heart of the Desert or something like that.
I think that's what it is. I order online there.
And it's a similar shop to the pistachio shop, but what they have there is something a little different. Over in the corner, there's a wall of, they have infused olive oils and infused balsamic vinegars. And some of the most delicious, like I'm a huge balsamic vinegar fan, but there's like, they'll just have like a girl there who will like give you pieces of bread to like dip into this.
Oh,
to try different.
Yeah, I remember having that. Yeah, I was delighted by it.
I got an Anjou pear balsamic vinegar that I would just sit there and eat spoonfuls of. It was so good.
I had a relative that really liked their wine. And
They have really,
I didn't drink
really good
it,
wine,
but
yeah.
we buy it for them, then they love it. Yeah. No. I know that place because I've ordered either online or been in person multiple times. That's kind of a gift.
Yeah.
It's for years we would always send pistachios to some family and stuff, and they'd usually order through them.
Right.
But I'd get those burlap sacks with the Heart of the Desert logo on it and all that. Oh yeah.
But yeah, that vinegar.
I am
is just,
familiar.
I will travel just to get me like to re-up that, and it's like, $14 for a bottle this big, but it is. Boy, howdy, is that some good stuff.
Yeah, but I love buying things like that at places like that.
It's also fun to show up at a restaurant and be like, did you want ranch, Italian? I'm like, brought my own.
Got my own. Yeah. That's the only reason why a guy should carry a purse, to carry their own salad dressing to the restaurant.
No, dude. Utility belt, man. Did Batman teach you nothing? You got a whole utility belt of just different sauces.
Yeah.
There's a...
But usually it's hot sauces.
It is. There's this one. It's they sell it at Walmart. It's like, I can't remember the brand name, but it's a black truffle hot sauce, and it's real good. It's real good. Again, one of those that you could just like eat by like a standalone thing. It's not super hot, but it's very flavorful.
Is it like $15 for a
no,
little
actually,
5-ounce
you can get
bottle?
like the little like carry bottle for $1.
Okay.
It's in that
oh, the dollar
sauce,
bin.
Yeah, the dollar bin.
The sauce crapshoot bin. Sauce / dry rub.
Where you can find like Blues Hog, barbecue sauce and all that. Yep.
Could be canned peas, could be Jell-O.
Mystery's half the fun.
All right, we better get the hour going.
Yeah.
I need to find more random bins of things like that, just small things of whatever,
I miss the days when dented cans were half price.
That's right. Yeah, well, then when you get people denting the cans and it's lost the thing.
Yeah, Big Daddy ruined that for everybody.
But I think because we grew up in the generation of the $2 movie bin, I think that's just translated to other things now. It's like, here's the $2 steak bin. Deep in it. Could be.
You might get an A5 Wagyu. You might get some skirt steak. Either way, you're getting a steak.
Might give the old chunk. All right. It is 9:17. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
Weather this hour brought to you by Southwest Bearing under new ownership. Custom solutions for your heavy equipment. Hydraulic hoses, hose repair, bearings, seals, sprockets, belts, tools, fluids, and fittings.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a little bit of moist air coming in as part of the monsoon today, so we can't rule out an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Some sun, though, and our high today in the low to mid-80s. Overnight, a few showers till about midnight, then clearing up a little bit. We'll be in the upper 60s, and then sunshine on Wednesday. A very slight chance of a thunderstorm, and we're in the mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Still getting readings from the National Weather Service there, but I know it's in the upper 70s. I need to get better organized on my phone. I was like, I can't find my weather app. I'm finding all this other stuff, so by the time I find it, we'll be done. So anyway, for today, mostly sunny skies and a high of 92. Winds will be out of the east at around 5 miles per hour. There is a 20% chance of showers tonight, mainly before midnight. Partly cloudy and an overnight low of 67. Winds will be out of the east at around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, mostly sunny, a high of 96. Thursday, mostly sunny, high of 99. Friday, we are looking at a slight chance of rain, 20% chance of afternoon showers, partly cloudy, and 98. And then for the weekend, a 30% chance of rain Saturday, partly cloudy, 94. A 30% chance of rain Sunday as well, with a high of 95 under mostly sunny skies. All right, it is 19 minutes after 9. We're going to take a 3.5-minute break. And then we're going to play our interview we had yesterday with Matt Bristol from Bristol Law Office. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
In a medical emergency, every second counts. Artesia General Hospital's emergency department is open 24/7, staffed with highly trained professionals ready to provide life-saving care when you need it most. Don't wait. When minutes matter, trust Artesia General Hospital. Quality emergency care close to home. Learn more at artesiageneral.com.
Your favorite time of year is here. Time to get the pool ready. And Mays Lumber in Roswell is your BioGuard headquarters. They have regular chlorine, including pool generators, and Soft Swim by BioGuard for your non-chlorine products. Prepare and maintain your pool for summer the right way for a full season of smiles instead of headaches. Get your pool ready for summer with Mays Lumber. Hurry into Mays Lumber Company, 115 South Virginia in Roswell.
You can count on Mays Lumber Company.
Attention homeowners! Fulkerson Plumbing has an August special that's too important to miss. This month only, take advantage of their whole home plumbing inspection and water heater flush. Now only $149 for homes up to 2 bathrooms and $249 for 3 or more bathrooms. They'll check all the plumbing fixtures for leaks, damage, and corrosion. Plus, offer special repair discounts. Right Fit members save up to 20% while non-members still save 10%. Don't let hard water cause major issues for the plumbing in your home. Protect your investment. Call Fulkerson Plumbing today, 575-221-9772.
Whether you're a homeowner, a landscaper, or a contractor, we all have reasons to dig. If you're planning to dig, this is just a friendly reminder that locating underground utilities is important. It's actually the law. Call 811 3 days before you dig. New Mexico Gas Company is one of the utilities that will come out free of charge to mark our underground lines up to the meter, so you'll know what's below. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and our priority is keeping you safe. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgco.com.
For the first time ever, the National Championship Air Races are touching down in Roswell, New Mexico. From September 10th through the 14th, witness the world's best pilots battle it out in the fastest motorsport on the planet. Vintage warbirds, cutting-edge jets, aerobatics, and family fun, all against the stunning New Mexico sky.
3, 2, 1.
Get your tickets now at airrace.org. Don't miss this high-octane spectacle. When you or a loved one need medical transport, Trans-Aero answers the call. Trans-Aero Medevac operates 3 rotorcraft bases and 1 fixed-wing base in southeastern New Mexico, allowing them to respond quickly to emergencies across diverse terrains. Their fleet extends coverage deep into New Mexico and West Texas, including Artesia, Carlsbad, Roswell, Ruidoso, Midland, Lubbock, and the surrounding areas. Ready to answer the call when every second counts. Trans-Aero Medevac, proudly serving southeastern New Mexico and West Texas. Flown for free, thanks to the partnership from the City of Artesia and Trans-Aero Medevac. Life support by air.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
Us in studio this morning for his monthly visit to always give us good advice. Matt Bristol with Bristol Law Office back. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Mike, and happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, 24 years.
That's awesome.
Going and kicking along here.
So. That is really great that Kim's been able to put up with you that long.
It's not no one else on earth has done it before. she wins an award.
That's right. And for our listeners, the 11th of this month, a few days ago, was Sean Small's birthday.
Sean was Sean celebrated. That's when he went to Hobbs this weekend. He was going to go see some concerts, and that was kind of his birthday.
His birthday gift.
Although it didn't sound like it went according to plan. So.
Well, it could have been worse. Could have been something worse.
Could have been, yeah. There's a lot of things that could have been worse.
Could have been worse.
Very good. But how's your world going?
Good. Took the female scouts and 2 male scouts on a 5-mile map and compass hike this weekend.
Orienteering
for a second class rank.
Good deal.
And so the scouts did really good. Really good.
Second class is they're still relatively new to the scouting program.
Right.
That's second class is like in the first couple ranks in the scout. Usually, first year, second year scouts are in that category.
Yeah, you have tenderfoot and then second class.
Second class,
so
and then
there's
you
still
get
newbies.
first class.
Yeah.
Star Life, and then the Big Eagle there. But yeah.
So
these are younger scouts that are still making their way in the scouting program.
Oh yeah, these are 13, 14-year-olds
Learning the basics,
Uh-huh.
orienteering, camping, things like how to work with their knives and axes, and how to build fires, and how to survive in the outdoors. So and not get lost. That's what they're working on this weekend.
That's what they're working on this weekend, and it's. So when you and I were kids, we started fires all the time. We were pyros, but kids today, they spend so much time indoors. They're
limited on that because, like a lot of campgrounds, and especially in our part of the country, they don't allow open flames and things because of environment and
not always.
Yeah. So the opportunity isn't always even there. Where when we were kids, it was pretty much if you're at a campsite, be responsible. But their campfires are allowed everywhere.
Yeah, so that's part of it is working with the kids on how to build the fire, which takes the most time, and if you do it properly, then starting that's pretty easy after that.
And it's way different than I don't know if y'all see those commercials for it's one of the insurance and where quit acting like your parents kind of deal. Those commercials series where there's one where there's the one dad building his fire on his grill or whatever, and like six others are you're like
huge logs.
Are analyzing how he's doing it all. Like, no, there's not that. We're way better at doing it in scouting.
For sure.
Matter of fact, we'll tell you the different types and when to use the different types and when not to. Why the teepee fire is more beneficial than the log cabin, and when to do it versus the other, and all that. So.
Well, yeah. Got to teach them different fires to cook different things.
Yeah, exactly. What's your purpose? What's your weather conditions like? All of that matters in that.
Yeah, so listeners, get your kids involved in scouting so they can learn that kind of stuff.
And for the love of God, if you live in New Mexico, please, so they learn orienteering, because you never know in this state. If you're driving around and next thing you know, you might be in a spot where you get lost. We don't live in a city. We live in a very rural country. There are parts of this state that you could literally get lost and not be heard from for days. And and so things like how to navigate, how to orient, mapping, compass, obviously emergency preparedness. These things for folks that live here, those are just part of your day of life. That's not just should be something, like I'm going to carry that. No, around here you should.
Yeah, especially when it's 100 degrees. It's winter, and then summer, and then winter gets really cold sometimes.
Absolutely. You could be just making a day trip to Albuquerque, and something happens. Next, someone doesn't get a hold of you for an hour or a day or so. It's possible.
Yep.
And so you got to be prepared for that stuff. And scouting teaches all of that stuff. So
that's right. Always got to have plan B.
So when you don't know how to do it, put your kids in scouting, and then they can learn it and teach you.
Well, as a matter of fact, I did that to the scouts. We were hiking West Mescalero, west of Montana.
Okay.
The pecan orchards, and there's that subdivision. And they were supposed to hike another half mile to an Aspen Street. But I stopped them a half mile short. And I said, okay, here's where we are on the map. Our designated route is to continue west on Mescalero, except last night there was a rain, roads flooded out. What do you do? Figured out. And they did.
Nice.
So I threw a little wrench in there, and the kids handled it well.
We're able to reorient.
Yep. And well, we go this way, take a different street, and turn that. Yeah, absolutely right, kids. So they did a good job.
And then if you really know how to read the map, you can tell and tell you on there, like, okay, well, this way is actually going to be a little easier because it's less strenuous of terrain and everything else or whatever. That's, if you know how to read a map, it'll tell you all that stuff.
Yeah, we had 10 waypoints of compass direction and distance, compass direction and distance. So we had 10 waypoints, and ended up in the old airport. That's where we ended up. And then I said, okay, on the map we're here, and the 11th waypoint or the ending point is here on the map. You tell me the compass bearing and distance.
Nice.
Yeah. So now they had to think about it.
Sure.
So they got a little off course at first, and so then it was like, what do we do now? And I said, well, this is how you fix that. And And so we ended up at the right spot, and the kids did a good job.
That's awesome. It does. I remember those days when I was doing it. We were supposed to end up here, or we were about it's like we weren't even in the same part of the park. Because I remember we did like some of that in parks down in, because I lived in DC area, it wasn't. And so we were in some of those parks. And yeah, I remember same thing. They'd set up courses for us, and the first couple times I was like, I don't think we're going the right way.
It takes practice.
It does. But once you do it, it really, and you never know, it could save your life one day. If you know, even if you don't do this on a regular basis, go camping or hiking, exploring. It could be that one time where, you know, day trip, whatever doesn't go according to plan, and you might need this stuff to save yourself or your family's life, or get them to a place where someone can help them. And that's
exactly
all
right.
about that. That's what scouting's about. Be prepared. So, and it's just good life skills, especially for folks that live in this part of the country. It just is. So.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I know we're probably not talking about what you want to talk about today, but
well,
it was still important. That's always very good sage advice is always there. So.
Well, I was thinking about, you know, there's a lot of second marriages out there.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, you know, we're community property state, so our community property laws impact second marriages and how those things work.
Sure.
And sometimes, you know, it can be a little tricky. And I know when someone finally finishes the divorce, they get through it, they just kind of want to put it all behind them and go on with their lives.
Mm-hmm.
But they really need to go ahead and change the beneficiaries on their life insurance, their 401k. You get a new will kind of done. So here's an interesting thing. So we had a state law, or there was a state law, that says if Mike gets divorced, but he still has Kim as beneficiary on his 401k, that doesn't work because you got divorced, and you probably didn't really mean to leave her on the 401.
Right.
Which kind of makes sense, right?
Sure.
So somebody challenged that, and they said, well, wait a minute, there's this ERISA Act, a federal law from 1972 about Employment Retirement Income Security Act. And since the feds have spoken on the subject, then federal law preempts state law on that issue. And so under federal law, if you have left your ex-wife on the 401, she still gets it.
She's entitled.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you want to do that, fine. But if you don't want to do that, it's time to change.
So the moral lesson here is, if make sure your 401k is still set up to go to who you want it to go to.
Absolutely.
Especially if you are in a second or, God forbid, third marriage or so forth.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Or you get into Elizabeth Taylor territory.
Yeah. Ooh, let's talk about the Black Widow.
Talk about confusing will.
So let's see. So let's say husband owns a house pre-marriage, gets married second time, does not add wife to the house. A few years later, husband dies, no will. Leaves some adult children. So the house is his sole and separate property, owned at pre-marriage. But who gets the house?
Well, I guess it probably depends on the state.
Well, New Mexico.
Okay, because it's funny you mentioned this.
Oh, yes. Continue.
In Texas, I saw a very similar situation where a woman remarried the man. The man, they lived in his property, which was his name, under his name on the lake there and all that. He died. And in the will, the house and the property went to the kids. She still lived there. She left. She had to leave, and the kids took the property. She was out of luck. So I'm going to say.
Well, in that case, he had a will.
Yeah, I think to my knowledge, yes.
Yeah. What if our guy dies with no will?
With no will? Well, then I think she has rights at that, or the spouse has rights at that point. So.
Well, in New Mexico, when you die without a will, you're intestate, not testate. You don't have a last will and testament.
Yeah.
But the sole and separate property gets divided 1/4 to the surviving spouse and 3/4 to the children.
Okay, so she gets a quarter, basically.
So she gets a quarter.
All right.
And if the husband, intended that, that's fine. But now the adult children have to buy out the second wife, the stepmom. And they may have a good relationship. They may not.
Sure.
But is that what Dad wanted? Hard to know.
So if you don't want that, get a will. And make sure it's up to date.
Make sure, yes. Because if you don't have a plan, guess what? The state has a plan for you.
Yeah, and it may not be what you want it to be.
May not be.
Yeah. And the people you intended to protect may not get the protections you're hoping that they were getting.
That's right.
Yep.
So let's say husband owns house pre-marriage, marries second wife.
Okay.
Adds second wife to the deed. And then a few years later, husband and wife file for divorce. What happens to the house?
He put her name on the deed. Therefore, she is part owner of that house. Therefore, she's fully entitled to the rights, I would think.
Well, it's funny you should say that because in New Mexico, it depends.
Okay.
So it depends on husband's testimony. So at the time, what was your intent, husband? And, 99% of the time it's, estate planning. If I died, I wanted my surviving spouse to get the house.
Right.
But it was not my intent to give away the house. Rather, the intent was estate planning, not a gift. And so a spouse can testify to that effect and keep the house. And they've had cases where 40 years later, husband and wife file for divorce.
Wow.
40 years ago, wife put husband on the investment accounts, and now when they're 60s, they're getting divorced, and she says, "No, I never meant to give it to him. It was just estate planning." And the court says, "Oh, well, if that's the case, wife, you get to keep your sole and separate property."
That's a stinging blow.
Yeah, so
I would hope
it depends.
After that long of marriage, they'd be a little more amicable and help each other out a bit, but I guess legally they don't have to, huh?
Yeah. So, So if in a second marriage situation, if, husband owns the house, if he wants the wife to get it, then he can do what's called a transfer on death deed. So it transfers on his death to second wife.
Gotcha.
But if she's not around, then it can go to his kids. So sometimes he can say, I give a life estate in the house to second wife, remainder to the kids. So second wife can stay in the house, and he can stipulate as long as she's, doesn't remarry, doesn't cohabitate, and is not gone for more than 90 days at a time. And if on 91 days, reverts to the kids. So he can provide for the second spouse a place to live, but ultimately the house goes to the children.
Gotcha. She can hold the fort down until such time as the kids, that she doesn't need it anymore, basically.
Yeah, so she's got a place to stay as long as she wants.
Gotcha.
But if she goes in a nursing home, then it goes down to the kids.
Makes sense. Interesting.
Yeah.
But, again, talk to the lawyers about this stuff, because if you don't do it right, that's pretty crazy. So they could end up by even after years of being together, and you know what I mean. That would be amazing. That would blow me away to hear a story like that of 40 years of marriage and they divorce, and one is pretty just because of that. It's crazy. But anyway.
Well, it's kind of wild if you think about it. But then if you think about it some more, it's it makes sense.
Sure.
The reason is you put the spouse on was in the event you die as a married couple, it was estate planning.
I guess I'm just thinking from the emotional perspective, like, how could someone be together 40 years and still have that much hate? Like, you know what I mean? I figure if you're like that animosity, why did you? But anyway, that's not a legal question. That's a philosophical.
Well, it may not be hate, just maybe a money issue.
Yeah, I don't know. I could not imagine being that mad at someone that I've been with for 40 years that I do that. Even at the end of the day, I'm like, look, I'm not going to, I don't know. It's just, that's another debate. It's not a legal thing. It's just in my head, I'm like,
it's just stuff.
It's like a whole life of just wrongness right there.
Well, I think, when people marry young and they're 20 years old, they really don't know who they are on the inside.
And unfortunately, people,
and they do grow apart.
Yeah. But I also think people, sometimes one part of the relationship will get dependent on the other, and they feel a need to stay not out of love, but out of comfort or accustomed to the lifestyle they're in. You know what I mean? Like they're afraid to be on their own kind of thing. And so, but that's, I don't know. But anyway, I'm getting off track. I'm just trying to wrap my head around 40 years of marriage and then doing something. But anyway.
Okay. So, second marriage, husband, gets a Social Security check that goes into his own little savings account.
Okay.
So it's not part of the joint checking. It's his separate savings. And he puts payable on death on the savings account, POD, to his adult child of the first marriage. Husband dies.
Mm-hmm.
So now wife says, well, yeah, the savings account is POD to the child of the first marriage, but isn't that community property? I mean, don't I get my half? He can't give away my half of the community property, can he?
Well,
so what's the answer?
I'm trying to see how that works because it's Social Security checks.
It's the key.
And so upon death, usually a spouse can claim the spouse's Social Security checks, right? Like to continue to get them, don't they?
Yeah, but that's a non-issue.
Okay. I feel like there is a caveat where she has a loophole in there on some of that because of Social Security here.
Social Security is considered sole and separate property.
Okay. So there it is. She's out.
She's out.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know, not sure why that's considered sole and separate, but in a 40-year marriage, your income, her Social Security is her sole and separate, and his Social Security is his sole and separate.
Yeah, I got to think about that, why it is, because I was thinking because it's based on what income you put in, but if you're filing jointly, isn't that technically joint income you're filing it on those numbers? So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's above my brain.
That's just a little quirk. That's just a little quirk.
Yeah.
But the wife is correct, is that the husband cannot give away her half of the community estate. It's just that in this particular case, it was Social Security.
That's
so
not
it's all
community.
separate.
That's a personal or savings.
Yeah. So the husband in his will could leave his half of the community stuff to kids from prior marriage, but he can't give away wife's half of the community property.
Gotcha.
Because he doesn't own it. She does.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Point of all this, get it right the first time.
Get it right the first time. And learn to say, I'm sorry and I love you.
Yes. Don't get married unless you're ready for the long haul.
That's it. That's it. So something I found is if there's an argument you're having with your spouse, disagreement, and if your goal is to win the argument, then you just sacrifice the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You just put the argument ahead of the relationship.
Yeah.
And that ain't going to last long.
Put it this way. There's a lot of people that are alone that are right. They're sitting on that hill all by themselves. You're right, but you ain't got no friends. You ain't got no one around you.
That's right. Yeah.
You can sit up there in your rightness.
You can be as lonely as you want, but by gosh, you're right.
Yeah, it's a hard lesson to swallow, especially when, but it is nonetheless. And that's marriage in a nutshell. It's
it's friendships as well.
Absolutely. It's give and take. It's no different than a business or a band, Yeah. I mean, a lot of businesses end the same way.
That's right.
Yeah.
They forget the customers always, right? And
which is why we always talk about those LLCs and partnerships and why it's important to delineate what it is and live by the rules that you're supposed to live by when it comes to that stuff. Because if it doesn't,
indeed,
it's the one thing that protects you when things go south.
Yep.
And if you don't do it right, then it's not protecting you. Same thing with marriage here. With the wills and all that. If you don't do it right, you're not getting the protections you think you are, and it's, talking about intent, what you think you're doing and what you're doing, you can't. That's why when it comes to wills and that type of stuff, it is a good idea to sit down and talk with a lawyer so you can do exactly what and so when you're done with that will, you have a clear, concise understanding of what's going to happen.
Exactly.
If you drop dead tomorrow and where your stuff's going.
Exactly. I can't tell you how many people come to the office and said, well, my friend said, or I heard, and well, I thought, and it's like, no.
Yeah. And the problem is, the advice you got from someone may be right where they live, but if they don't live where you live, it may, you know what I mean? And that's just it. What they do in Texas is not the same as what they do in New Mexico, or what they do in Oklahoma is not the same as they do here. And so what applies there, and New Mexico is, weirdly enough, we're the exception to the rule in a lot of weird things. You just be like, oh, yeah, well, everyone does it this way, except New Mexico. They do it this way. And so just saying, you got to pay attention to that.
We're one of 8 community property states, and so everybody else does it a little differently. But, if you already have an attorney, great. Make an appointment. Go talk to them about wills, or if it's going to be your second marriage, what about a prenup?
Yeah.
Make sure everybody's taken care of.
Have a plan and talk about it. I get it. But I've just found that when you look for healthcare advice or legal advice on an app, you're not getting the best advice always. Just taxes or your wills through some little app, you get what you pay for. That's all I'm just telling you on that stuff. And if you're trying to provide something that important and that big a deal that you want to ensure, maybe you want to have someone that really knows what they're doing as opposed to an app taking a look at what you got going on.
Yeah, had somebody come in, they got a will online, and filled it out and downloaded it and wanted me to look over it. And I said, I'll look it over. I mean, I'm not a snob.
Sure.
And so I said, do you realize nowhere in here does it say, Mike Winters, hereby make this will?
Mm-hmm.
That language didn't appear anywhere.
And so right out the gate, you're kind of like,
so what is this?
Yeah.
So little things like that, it's, so get some good advice. And I'm not the only good attorney in town. There's a lot of good attorneys in town. So if you've got a good attorney, go talk to him about this stuff.
This is certain things you should let professional handle, and especially when you have these kind of moments in life. There's one things, that all of us need to do to prepare for whatever's next at some point. Those are not the things you just want to trust with something haphazardly. Talk to someone you trust. Because unfortunately there's too many quote unquote experts out there that will steer you wrong if you don't, and they're not doing it with the intent to hurt you. They just don't know any better either.
Yeah. Yeah, just ask, next time your neighbor says, oh, blah, 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 just ask them where they went to law school.
Exactly.
Because it may not be that way.
Yeah, and so that's why, if you call Matt, and I'll tell you right now, Matt will be happy to sit down, talk with you, and sit down, and he'll be happy to tell you, this is going to be a little more involved, and we need to talk about it. Or he'll be like, just fill this form out, go to the clerk's office, and you're done.
Yeah.
Either way, he's going to give you the straight scoop on that.
Yeah, we will. I'm a firm believer. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
He's not going to create work just to get paid, kind of thing. Yep. Which he's not going to Better Call Saul you.
There you go.
Sorry, I just got done watching that thing. It's been still fresh in my brain. But please reach out to Matt in Bristol Law Office, and if you got anything family law, or if you need to set up a free business, a partnership, or LLC, if you got to deal with setting up family planning like your wills, or God forbid dealing with the bad sides, the divorces and all that, talk to Matt and let him steer you right.
Even if you're newlyweds and you don't think you have any money to worry about making a will about, once you have kids, you need a will, because just like that TV commercial is, it's not good enough if it's not in writing, if it's not in the will.
Once kids enter the equation, your will thing went from it's a good idea to you better get it.
Better get one, yeah.
Because the moment they're born, there's a lot bigger pictures than just you and the spouse there at that point.
Yep. So bristoloffice.net or 625-5284.
We do got about 3-4 minutes if we want to do a little fact.
So this, I just love, where do words come from? Kind of stuff. And so one interesting word is, so Mike early one morning decides to go out back with his cup of coffee and enjoy the morning air.
Okay.
And there's this thing in the yard. Just fell from the sky or something.
Oh, it was like, did the dog leave it or?
Something fell from the sky. We don't know what it is. There's this object.
Okay.
And so it's like, holy moly, what is this thing? And so our instinct is to kind of walk around it and look at it to see if we can figure out what this thing is, right?
Sure. Yeah. Investigate a little bit.
Investigate, look at it from different angles, go all the way around it, maybe back the other way to see what you're looking at. So, so someone who walks on their feet is called
who walks on their feet.
Someone walking up and down the street is a pedestrian.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Gotcha.
All right. So ped means foot.
All right.
So it's just like a podiatrist, except the vowel's a little different. But
sure.
A pedestrian is someone who's walking on their feet. And if you walk around it and circle it, another word for circle is cycle, like bicycle, tricycle. Okay. It's got 3 round things on it. So if you encircle it on your feet, you encyclopedia. Because you're on your feet and you're circling it. That's where the word encyclopedia comes from. Is you're walking around something trying to figure out what the heck is this thing.
Yeah, okay.
And that's where who came up with that
stuff? So it's volumes of circle around trying to learn these things.
Yeah, so I just thought that's a fascinating word.
Kids, encyclopedias were these things when we were kids. This is where we learned everything before the internet. Before we had the phone and a computer, we went to either, depending if you had a salesman knock on your door, they would come and sell you these books. But if not, you had to go to the library and check them out.
So instead of the website Wikipedia, we had actual physical books, and we could look this stuff up.
And then, but the library had all the different ones. So if you wanted World Book, or if you wanted, let me try to remember. There was about 6 or 8 different ones that were, pretty much universally known.
Yeah, and then there's that
Britannica.
Oh, that was awesome. Awful. Britannica was just awful.
Yeah. The World Book Encyclopedia.
We even had children's encyclopedias.
Yeah.
I used to read those for fun.
Oh yeah, I would. I did so many projects. So many maps I had recreated out of encyclopedia for, here is the, this is the, I remember we were doing states or something. And I remember, we each got picked states, and I did a map of like all of the resources and products. This is the resources that this state has. It's corn. I remember having to draw these maps, and they're basically the ones you pulled out of the encyclopedia. And they got a little cow here, so this part of the state is dairy.
Well, cool.
But very good. That's cool. I never put those two together. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, I always thought that was interesting.
Now I want to start a private detective agency and call it some kind of encyclopedia or something, or gumshoe encyclopedia or something. Good deal. Of course, BristolLawOffice.net is the resource you can go and set up a consultation with Matt. Like I said, he'll sit down and talk to you and tell you if you need to spend money or if this is just a simple thing. But before, and please don't, when it comes to estate planning, when family planning, these big, maybe talk to a real person as opposed to
your neighbor or your drinking buddy or the guy who drives the garbage
this
truck.
Hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason.
Well, we're learning AI does some things very poorly. Trace hallucination.
Yes.
Be careful using it.
Everything is.
Australian Prime Minister
It'll get better. It's just not there yet. You know what I mean? Like we're seeing the infancy of these things.
Speaks out.
You know,
About
it's
the
kind of
ongoing
like I'm
war
willing to
in
guess.
Gaza.
At a news conference
The
Sunday,
first cars,
Israeli
those
Prime
weren't
Minister
humdingers
Benjamin
either. The first couple
Netanyahu
that came out,
defended a
people were like,
military
"Look at that
expansion in
contraption." I'm not
Gaza,
gonna
saying
do
Israel has no choice
You know
but
what
to
I mean?
finish the job
We had
and
the
complete
state bar
the defeat of
a week or so
Hamas.
ago and took 2 classes on AI stuff.
Our goal is to
And
free Gaza.
so the limited purposes of AI can be extremely useful.
Yeah.
But once you start going outside that and expect it to actually have intelligence, it does not.
Yeah. But it'll get better. So, thank you, Matt. As always, we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Mike. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. As a reminder, the City of Artesia Utility Billing Department is in the process of updating their billing system to help better serve the community. The transition, though, has created a temporary delay in the normal billing process. As a result, your next 2 bills will each cover 45 days of service. These next bills will arrive on their normal schedule. The City of Artesia says it apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause. The Artesia City Council meets tonight in regular session. Several items on the agenda, including skydiving and red dirt black gold. If you can't make the City Council meeting, you can always try to attend the Minute with the Mayor. Mayor John Henry will be at the Kith and Kin on Wednesday from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. City Council meetings are also streamed live on the city's Facebook page. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
We now know Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, has authorized the special prosecutor to investigate allegations of mortgage fraud in the case of the congenital liar Adam Schiff and New York Attorney General Letitia James. And there will be grand juries in Maryland and in Virginia, respectively, that will investigate claims involving Schiff, involving Letitia James. Bondi named Ed Martin to serve as the special prosecutor. And early today, Bondi issued subpoenas and impaneled the grand jury as part of the criminal investigation into multiple allegations against the state of New York, according to a source familiar with the matter who requested anonymity.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Hey, it's Sean Hannity here. It's no secret I have been very outspoken ever since I was able to save money. I've been a long-time buyer of precious metals like gold and silver. In fact, I've been purchasing them for many decades now, and I'm so glad that I have. But who do I choose to help safeguard my money? Here's the deal. I've been with the award-winning precious metals dealer, Goldco, for years now. I am a customer of Goldco, and I was frankly relieved to find a great company that I trust and that I have stuck with, and they stick with me for the long haul. They keep it simple, and they've taught me a whole lot about the value of precious metals and how they can help protect your savings. I simply want you to call, no obligation, 855-815-GOLD, or just go to HannityGold.com. They'll send you a free 2025 gold and silver kit. You'll also learn about their unlimited bonus silver offer, and you're not going to want to miss that one, trust me. Anyway, call now, 855-815-GOLD, or just go to HannityGold.com. That's HannityGold.com today.
Hey everyone, with your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales. Only 3 more days of training camp remain here in Oxnard, and one of the best stories so far is a running back who went from unemployed last Thursday to leading the team in rushing 36 hours later in the preseason opener at the Rams. More on Malik Davis after this.
A true Dallas Cowboys fan is there for the journey and the destination. This is the season to make your journey count by flying through McAllen International Airport, the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. Whether you're flying down for McAllen's award-winning fall and holiday festivals, or you're a South Texas fan flying up to cheer the Cowboys on, make your journey as satisfying as your destination at the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. McAllen International Airport, above, beyond, at McAllenAirport.com.
AT&T has a new guarantee because most things in life are not guaranteed, like getting through self-checkout by yourself.
Warning, each item must be placed in the bagging area.
Not guaranteed.
Place item in the bagging area. Place item in the bagging area.
You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, deals you want, and service you deserve. Or we make it right. Terms and conditions apply. Visit att.com/guarantee for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Just 3 practices remain here in the Oxnard portion of Dallas Cowboys training camp. Today's the first full practice for running back Malik Davis, who spent 3 years with Dallas before he was released in April. He was unemployed until arriving in Oxnard on Friday. Then he led the team in rushing Saturday night, 63 yards in the opener at the Rams. Malik says he didn't even have time for a cram session of the playbook.
Well, you know, you're able to just, all right, they call, it's time to go, let's go. The coaches trusted me to show that I could pick up the playbook within a short notice and apply it.
The coaches hope to have rookie running back Jaden Blue return this week. He didn't play Saturday because of a bruised foot. With your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a little bit of moist air coming in as part of the monsoon today, so we can't rule out an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Some sun, though, and our high today in the low to mid-80s. Overnight, a few showers till about midnight, then clearing up a little bit. We'll be in the upper 60s, and then sunshine on Wednesday, a very slight chance of a thunderstorm, and we're in the mid-90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. 4 days from the Alaska summit, and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has categorically rejected any deal with Moscow that could involve ceding land. That's after President Trump suggested such a concession would be beneficial to both sides ahead of his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Russia is now occupying about a fifth of Ukraine and appears close to capturing a key city in the Donetsk region, potentially to use as leverage in any peace negotiations. The U.S. trade deadline with China gets another reprieve.
President Trump extended a